Agrees to a peace proposal. CBS News has the latest coming up.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Maria Keenan with the latest information on the charter school in downtown St. Louis placed on probation.
Sheriff Alfred Montgomery's trial is expected to wrap up today.
In another week in Missouri, you'll be able to place your bets on your favorite sports teams.
A tornado tears through the Houston area.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Fog patches and spotty drizzle to start the day. Mainly cloudy and mild, or high 62.
Cardinals bring back Joel Pozo. What else do they have in store? The Blues drop one at the Garden, and we'll take a look at every sport we could possibly fit into 615.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Michael Wallace. There's breaking news on a possible peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. CBS's Vicki Barker.
A U.S. official has just told CBS News that Ukraine's government has agreed to a peace deal brokered by the Trump administration. Officials telling CBS News a few minor details need to be ironed out, but that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could travel to Washington within days to sign an agreement. No word yet from Russia, but we understand U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll is in Abu Dhabi to meet with Russian officials there. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, Russian bombardments on the capital, Kyiv, and other cities continue. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
A tornado damaged more than 100 homes in the Houston area.
We heard glass breaking. We heard trees falling. We heard a thud on the roof.
KHOU TV reporter Julissa Garza says most of the damage is in Houston's northwest suburbs.
Because of down power lines, we saw some sparking and starting fires. Assistant Chief Toby Hecker said crews cut power to that entire neighborhood to reduce the risk of more fires from happening. And fire crews say the safest thing people can do when they do see a down power line is to stay back from them and report them.
There were no serious injuries. The Justice Department says it will appeal after a federal judge dismissed the criminal charges against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The judge ruled the Trump administration had illegally appointed the prosecutor who brought the charges. Comey says the case against him was based on malevolence and incompetence.
I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going to be the same. I'm innocent. I am not afraid.
Arizona Democratic Senator and former Navy Captain Mark Kelly could be recalled to active duty so he can face a possible court-martial. He was one of 6 Democrats who appeared in a video urging service members to refuse illegal orders. President Trump called it seditious behavior. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Senator Mark Kelly well knows the rules of the military and the respect that one must have for the chain of command, and that all lawful orders are presumed to be legal by our service members.
Kelly says he will not be bullied. People with untreated sleep apnea face a higher risk of Parkinson's disease. More from CBS's Michael George.
New research from Oregon Health and Science University found when sleep apnea goes untreated, breathing and oxygen intake during sleep is disrupted, impacting the functioning of neurons in the brain. Over the course of years, that can significantly increase the risk for neurodegenerative conditions, including Parkinson's.
Those who started using CPAP machines after their diagnoses were 30% less likely to develop Parkinson's. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got, it's windy, and that mist is kind of blowing sideways at the moment. It is now 52 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A deadly mobile home fire overnight in southern Jefferson County. Fox 2's Chris Renier at the scene.
Crews from the Hillsborough Fire Protection District getting the call about 2:25 this morning. Brian Gaudet, the chief of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District, telling us crews arrived to find the trailer here fully engulfed in flames. Gaudet tells us this was a single-wide mobile home that had an addition to it. Gaudet says when firefighters arrived, the trailer was already partially collapsed. As crews knocked down the flames, they discovered one person, again, an adult, dead inside a bedroom.
Purpose of having high quality compliance special education practices is for the delivery of education.
And according to Charter School Association's Noah Devine and the Missouri Charter Public School Commission, that's not happening at St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts in the downtown Park Pacific building.
We should know later today if the commission received the comprehensive safety and education plan by yesterday's deadline. According to the commission, the school was facing shortfalls with safety, special education, academics, and governance. Noah Devine says every year sponsors of charter schools can talk on reviews and analysis of that compliance.
As well does the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. From time to time, revisions are needed. This is obviously more substantial, but our expectation is that compliance occurs for the betterment of the educational environment. Sometimes these sort of follow-ups are necessary because of something that is noticed.
Charter Public School Commission has given St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts until December 1st to implement the new plan, which must include safety measures. The students are on Thanksgiving break and return Monday if the school is allowed to remain open. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Also in the news this morning, a judge yesterday ruling the effort to oust St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will continue despite his lawyer asking, quote, "Where's the beef?" Fox 2's Chris Hayes in the courtroom.
Defense arguments Monday gave the clearest counterpoints yet on the attempt to remove Montgomery as sheriff. Defense lawyer David Mason began with the detainment of Jail Commissioner Tammy Ross, who was cuffed after blocking sheriff's office access to an inmate who alleged rape by a sheriff's deputy. Mason said Ross gave consent to be detained. Mason pointing out Ross testified to saying beforehand, quote, "Go ahead and cuff me." Then Mason responded to the alleged failure to transport inmates for medical appointments, claiming the jail is more equipped for transports and that no one missed out on care. In another counterpoint, Mason poked fun at allegations of financial mismanagement, saying the attorney general only questioned golf carts, uniforms, and badges. Mason said, quote, "If you nitpick that stuff, you'd have to clear out a politician every other week." The only point Mason conceded, partially, was the school transports of Montgomery's children in a sheriff's office vehicle. Mason said that practice stopped after Fox 2's reporting on it, and that the deputy's time was either off duty or made up with the deputy working through lunches. In the end, the judge denied Mason's attempt to throw out the case.
Closing arguments are now expected this morning for the sheriff, who remains in federal custody on separate charges.
In just a week or so in Missouri, you'll be able to place your bets on your favorite sports. Mike Lira, executive director of the Missouri Gaming Commission, says there are a variety of providers, including two considered untethered, meaning they have no partnership with a professional sports team or in-state casino.
Well, some of them cater to the smaller wagerer, and others cater to the larger wagerer.
All providers are required to have integrity monitoring, which is basically a third party watching for betting irregularities.
Now to the 100 neediest cases. Some families don't have extravagant wish lists for the holidays. They're just asking for basic needs to be met. Becky White with United Way of Greater St. Louis says they hope to help as many as possible.
We will help about 5,000 families this year through the 100 Neediest Cases program. It comes out to be about 11,700 people, and half of those are children under the age of 18.
In past years, White says some donors have provided rent assistance and other needs for families to make the holidays brighter. Go to 100neediestcases.org to learn how you can help.
From the business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, two pieces of prime real estate in downtown Clayton officially on the market, marking the end of a massive corporate expansion that never happened. The St. Louis Business Journal reports Centene has listed two vacant lots next to its headquarters on Forsyth Boulevard. The properties, valued at more than $10 million, were originally part of the healthcare giant's $775 million expansion plan. That project, which would have added another tower and a civic auditorium, was officially scrapped in 2022.
We'll check traffic and weather next at 6:08.
Experience a musical kaleidoscope as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra performs Shostakovich's 15th, Rebellion and Reckoning, an epic symphonic memoir. Cellist Jan Soltany joins to make his St. Louis debut, using his bow to tell the story of Haydn's elegant cello concerto. December 5th and 6th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Hey, let's get a check of traffic and weather right now on this kind of misty, damp Monday. Sorry, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Tuesday morning. Oh, Roger Brand, you're in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's not a bad day out there on the highways. Like you said, it is dreary. Roads are wet, so be careful. We have had a couple of crashes. The one that was causing the most problems, though, they did clear just about 5-6 minutes ago, something like that. Eastbound 64 east of the Pompano Street Bridge, all lanes are back open there. Emergency repair work began yesterday after the morning rush hour on eastbound 5570. They've been out there multiple times in this area to work, and they're out there again. The left lane's closed eastbound 5570 at 157, and the on-ramp from 157 to the eastbound lanes is also shut down through tomorrow afternoon, so it'll impact your afternoon commute on the drive home today, just like it did yesterday. When they're reporting a crash, they sent EMS crews to the eastbound 70 exit to northbound Lindbergh just a moment ago as well. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We'll start the day off with patchy fog and spotty drizzle. It'll be a mainly cloudy, mild day with a high of 62. Tonight becoming increasingly windy and turning much colder with some clearing overnight, low 36. Tomorrow more sun and clouds, but windy and quite chilly, high only 45. Thanksgiving Day will be mostly sunny, breezy, and cold, high only 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Still just kind of misting in downtown St. Louis. It's 52 degrees across the board. Florissant, St. Peter's, and at the Arch. Weather sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 6:12, and we have breaking news on Ukraine from CBS's Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk.
A U.S. official has just told CBS News that Ukraine's government has agreed to a peace deal brokered by the Trump administration. Officials telling CBS News a few minor details need to be ironed out, but that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could travel to Washington within days to sign an agreement. No word yet from Russia, but we understand U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll is in Abu Dhabi to meet with Russian officials there. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, Russian bombardments on the capital, Kyiv, and other cities continue. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
The Trump administration is to review refugees admitted by the Biden administration.
A memo obtained by the Associated Press says during the Biden years, expediency and quantity were prioritized over detailed screening and vetting. The memo says that warrants a comprehensive review, including the re-interviewing of all refugees admitted from January 20th, 2021 to February 20th, 2025. The memo immediately suspends green card approvals for the nearly 200,000 refugees who came to the U.S. during that period. The move could face legal challenges from advocates of the refugee program, who say refugees are generally some of the most vetted of all people coming to the United States. They criticize the move as cruel and wasteful. Mike Hempen, Washington.
Thanksgiving dinner expected to cost less this year.
The American Farm Bureau Federation's annual survey shows people in Missouri will spend less at the grocery store for the holiday feast. Missouri Farm Bureau President Garrett Hawkins says the price dip is thanks in large part to lower turkey prices.
The price overall was down about 16% on average, making a 16-pound turkey just over $21. The components of stuffing mix are down. Frozen pie crusts are down. The dairy components are up just slightly, just about 3%.
The survey puts the price of a classic Thanksgiving meal for 10 at about $55 nationwide. Missouri families pay roughly $10 less than the national average. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A little more than a week after the FAA lifted flight restrictions as a result of the government shutdown, millions of Americans are traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday. By some estimates, it could be the busiest Thanksgiving at airports in 15 years. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
The travel chaos during the government shutdown is now in the rearview mirror, and travelers who are taking to the skies are relieved.
I thought my flight would possibly be canceled, and I also bought travel protection just in case it does. So yes, I was very concerned.
There are still the normal headaches. Storms in Texas Monday caused ripples around the country, with dozens of flights canceled and hundreds more delayed.
AAA projects 70 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more during the Thanksgiving holiday period. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday afternoons are expected to be peak travel times. It's 6:15. As announced just a little earlier, KMOX is going to achieve a first. We are going to split our signal as we are on 104.1 FM and 1120 AM, but we're going to split the content. So on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day, huge game, by the way, Chiefs-Cowboys might end up being the most watched NFL regular season game ever. I'm going to predict that. I think that'll be a very, very popular game on TV. We will carry it on radio, Chiefs-Cowboys on Thursday afternoon. And then when it starts at 5:45 for the pregame as the Billikens play their biggest game to date against Santa Clara out in the Acrisure Classic, we will go to that on 11:20 a.m. So on 104.1 FM, we'll have the Chiefs, and on 11:20 a.m., we'll have the Billikens. And when the Chiefs game concludes, we will join the Billikens in progress on 104.1 FM. The Billikens playing and running their record so far to 5-0. Meanwhile, in baseball, we're also the home of the Cardinals, as you know, and the Cardinals brought back Joel Pozo yesterday, making it official with him, a major league deal for Pozo, who had been non-tendered just a couple of days earlier. But as Chaim Bloom told us on Sports on a Sunday Morning, that doesn't always mean that you are going to say goodbye to those players. It just means that they become free agents. And the Cardinals worked quickly to bring back a catcher who didn't appear all the time, but when he did, it seemed like he made an impact.
Here's the next one. Pozo swings, and he drives that one. Deep left center field, way back, and it's a gunner for Pozo. 4-3 Cardinals in the bottom of the sixth. Joel's fifth home run of the year puts the Cardinals in front against the Yankees.
Joel Pozo hit 5 home runs this past season. 4 of those he hit as a starter, and as a pinch hitter, he was really good. 286 with a 594 slugging percentage, and he hit 345 in 30 at-bats when coming off the bench and into a game. The Cardinals get themselves a nice one back in Joel Pozo, and they have a lot of catchers to work with right now. The Blues lost 3-2 to the Rangers on the road at Madison Square Garden. We'll hear from Coach Jim Montgomery coming up here at 6:45. Some of his thoughts, another disappointing loss for the Blues. In college basketball, we'll take a peek at what's happening. Not only are the Billikens playing a big game on Thursday, but Mizzou has one tonight. Not a big game as they take on 0-6 South Carolina State, but another opportunity to gel as a group before they get ready for what's going to be a much tougher non-conference here in December, including a matchup with Illinois and Kansas. They got some big ones coming. Southeast Missouri State will play Cal Poly later today at 7 o'clock. Games from yesterday, Southern Illinois lost to UAB 81-73. Lindenwood beat Kansas City 80-67. 13th ranked Illinois had to work to get by UT Rio Grande Valley 87-73. LIU Brooklyn topped Missouri State 75-61. I'm Tom Ackerman. Monday Night Football. It was the 49ers over Carolina 20-9. This is KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Before he became a national icon, Harry Carey electrified St. Louis baseball on KMOX. With boundless energy, raw emotion, and his signature Holy Cow, Carey brought Cardinals baseball to life for millions across the Midwest.
Slow ball, swung on, a drive, back to left. Way back is Brock, he jumps. Holy cow, did he make the catch or not? Yeah, he's got the ball. The game is over.
The power of KMOX's signal paired with Harry's unforgettable personality helped create one of the strongest team broadcaster bonds in sports.
This is Harry Carey with Jack Buck and Jerry Gross.
His bold, candid style made him one of America's most colorful broadcasters and a defining voice in the early era of KMOX sports. Harry Carey, a KMOX pioneer.
You've got your whole life ahead of you. So choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Now, the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 5:20, make that 6:21. Sorry about that. 6:21, and still kind of a misty, wet morning out there. Just give yourself a little extra time. Let's check the roadways with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And this traffic report's a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm, Debbie. Northbound, 21 at Vineland School Road, or EMS responding for a vehicle off the roadway crash. So it's not blocking anything, but the EMS may block when they show up there. Just be advised of that. They just cleared a crash eastbound 70 to 170. We had a crash reported eastbound 70 to northbound Lindbergh. Also a crash reported westbound 64 past Long Road in the Chesterfield Valley, blocking the right lane. So if you're headed that way, just again use caution, but I don't see any delays there. But we do have some volume building. Northbound 55, the right lanes, Butler Hill, Madison are a little busy. Union Road overpass up to River Repair slow. North 270 approaching Clayton Road up through Ladue, kind of busy. Southbound getting onto eastbound 64, it's a little slow. Southbound 61, Highway P, heavy down through the Wentzville Parkway area in a couple of pockets right now as well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers, an important decision, and should not be based solely on advertising.
Very light drizzle falling downtown right now. Cloudy later today, high 62. We clear up tonight, but it'll be cold, low 36. Windy, chilly, more sun than clouds tomorrow. A high of just 45 degrees. It's 52 right now.
The news continues at 6:22. The holiday shopping season is the perfect time for scammers to strike. Margaret Carrero spoke to John Palmer, manager of fraud investigations at School's First Federal Credit Union, about what you should be watching out for.
Around the holiday season, two of the biggest scams consumers should know about and watch out for are, one, the phony online retail merchant, often found on social media. They advertise real low prices on real high demand items. And really, you may end up getting no product or a counterfeit product, but they have your payment card information, and then additional unauthorized transactions can occur. The other is any unsolicited text, call, or email. A real popular one around the holidays would say there's a package that's being held up, and so they'll just demand a small fee to have it delivered. Problem is, there again, they've got your payment card info, and they can make unauthorized transactions using your payment card.
Yeah, I know I've gotten a number of those unsolicited texts about packages, and I'm like, I never
ordered anything. Like, I know instinctively, but then of course you always go, well, maybe somebody sent me something and it didn't arrive, right? I mean, those are kind of the things. That's the way you fall victim to these things, right?
Yeah, we fall victim when it matches up with something, and it is the fear of missing out. So seems like a small investment for the potential of a nice gift, but we don't always think about the consequences.
The first scam that you were talking about is, these bogus marketplaces that are usually on social media, and they're offering real low prices on high demand items. Should that in and of itself be like the red flag?
It really should. You should go back to the original source of that online retail merchant and verify it. If not, talk to friends, family, or do just a web search and see if there's any reviews.
Have there been any new types of fraud scams online that you've seen pop up recently?
There actually is a new fraud scam that I've seen pop up online very recently. There's a coffee shop chain that offers a really popular water bottle. And this water bottle immediately went viral, and it's going for a lot of money on the secondary market. Well, I received personally an email just yesterday from what appeared to be that coffee chain offering that very in-demand water bottle for free. And there was a really easy to use button that you click that just says claim now. Well, when you check the email address, you can tell it's not that coffee chain, and it is in fact a fraudulent email.
Are we talking about Starbucks?
Yes.
Wow. They'll do anything to get you to click, won't they?
They really will.
A new Gallup poll shows 1 in 10 Americans report having had cancer. A lot of them young adults. Karen Adams reports.
The rise actually comes as new cancer cases are on the decline, and the Gallup poll points to people living longer as the reason we're hearing about more individuals living with cancer.
Research that is emerging that shows that there are certain things that happen in our cells that happen more frequently as we get older that lead to what I'll call mistakes that allow us not to have the ability to fight off cancer and basically provide the environment for cancers to arise. So aging seems to be a very important risk factor.
That's Stanford oncologist Dr. Lydia Shapira. The study also finds an increase in young people saying they've had a cancer diagnosis. The daughter of Caroline Kennedy, 35-year-old Tatiana Schlossberg, recently announcing she has terminal cancer, speaks to the disturbing trend.
Healthy mom, she said she used to run and swim, and I think she swam a mile a few days prior to her diagnosis. She was diagnosed at the time that she gave birth. It has all of the elements of a human tragedy. There is no obvious explanation.
No explanation, but she says we should all still live healthy lives to keep our cancer risk factors down. I'm Karen Adams, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
It's 6:26. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The holidays at the MAC. Such great memories of taking the kids downtown to see Santa, the MAC West, all decked out. Need to get over there and just take in the holidays. It's always a great scene at both locations, and we can't wait until the MAC Clayton opens up. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome. They're projecting a spring opening for the Missouri Athletic Club Clayton location in the Pierre Laclede Center. That is going to be spectacular with the views of Clayton and downtown St. Louis from up there. Man, it's going to be awesome. Now, the holidays also are welcomed when it's the Jack Buck Awards at the Missouri Athletic Club. And December 8th in the Missouri Room, the Jack Buck Awards will roll again, 56 years of excellence going all the way back to 1970. And this year, one of the great St. Louis Cardinals, Jim Hart, will be honored at the Missouri Athletic Club. How great is that going to be? When's the last time you saw Jim Hart speak in public? And he will do that, the great St. Louis Cardinals quarterback. We're also going to have Jordan Bennington, the sports personality of the year, Maddie DiMaria, the national player of the year in girls soccer. She plays at Coriezu. We'll have Bob Ramsey or Earl Austin Jr. honored for their 30-plus years of excellence broadcasting Billiken games. John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, will receive the Jack Buck Award on December 8th. And Jason Tatum, who is not going to be able to be in attendance, but is going to accept via video the David Freese Hometown Hero Award. It's the one and only Jack Buck Sports Awards, the Missouri Athletic Club. MAC-STL.org.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation or the website bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
It is 6:30 and it's just kind of a damp morning. I wouldn't say it's raining downtown. It's just a light mist that's blowing around. It is 52 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's some slow going on the highways for the most part right now, folks. If you're traveling on northbound 55, the right lanes are a little busy. Butler Hill, Mattis, it's slow. North of the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. Northbound 270, a little busy passing Gravois. A couple of spots. Doherty Ferry up through Manchester around Clayton Road. Really not that bad, but it's a little volume here and there. Southbound 61, now that's bogged down pretty much the whole way from Highway P all the way down to 64. But once you hit 64 or 70, you're good to go across the Missouri River bridges. There is a little slowdown. Eastbound 70 past Natural Bridge. We had a crash in the area there recently downtown. Definitely some volume here. Westbound 64, not a jam, but it's slow from 3rd Street headed for the Poplar Street Bridge already. Again, wet roads mean just a little slower pace, obviously. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be a morning with some patchy fog and some drizzle, but otherwise the rest of the day just cloudy and 62 degrees. It'll start getting colder from here on out, though. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, 45. Thanksgiving Day, breezy, cold, sunshine, high 42. Friday, sunshine followed by clouds and a high of just 40. It's 52 out there now.
It's 6:31.
The first and foremost concern for us at the association and anyone in public education is the safety of children.
That's the Charter School Association's Noah Devine responding to St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts in the Park Pacific building being placed on probation. There are major concerns with safety of students and questionable academic protocols.
The Missouri Charter Public School Commission sent STLVA a 4-page letter citing all of the problems. Noah Devine.
The safety of students needs to be reaffirmed. And that is why you see in the letter of concern the need for things like a safety plan and a revision of that plan, as well as several other needs.
Devine says if those safety and educational protocols do not happen, then there is no other option than to close the school. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It is now 6:32, and Fort Leonard Wood is on track to open its new $250 million hospital complex.
The new General Lindenwood Community Hospital will open to patients this coming April. The state-of-the-art complex includes 200,000 square foot hospital and a separate medical clinic. The facility replaces the current hospital, which is the oldest operating in the Army system right now, built in 1965. Army leaders stress that this investment is critical to ensure modern and accessible health care for 34,000 military members and their families. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Residents in St. Charles County say the roar of 364 has become impossible to ignore, with noise levels in some backyards hitting 80 decibels, far louder than neighborhoods protected by sound walls. Despite the volume, MoDOT says the area doesn't qualify for a state-funded barrier because the highway hasn't been widened. But for homeowners like David Hall in the Knollwood Court neighborhood, the noise has destroyed the peace and quiet.
Everybody stays in their homes. They don't come outside. You can't come out, and if someone tries to talk to you, you got to scream. Nobody can hear you.
A county councilman is now pushing to get a sound wall added to the county's transportation plan to provide relief.
A credit union merger in the works. Gateway Metro Federal Credit Union is merging into West Community Credit Union. That will give the merged nonprofit about $700 million in assets, 42,000 members, and 13 area locations. West Community CEO Jason Peach tells the Business Journal the St. Louis market is challenging because it's highly banked, but the population is stagnant.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high rise in Singapore and let it go
and load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive.
No,
you
let's
know?
be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told them your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
It is 6:36, and it's time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. NVIDIA shares are falling in a report that Meta Platforms is in talks to spend billions of dollars on Google's AI chips. NVIDIA's chips are currently the gold standard. Apple has eliminated dozens of sales roles. It's a bid to streamline the way it offers products. The move marks a rare layoff for the iPhone maker. And traders are watching data ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, including September retail sales and producer prices. The futures this morning are lower to little changed. Money markets are pricing in about a 75% chance of a Fed rate cut at their December meeting. The odds have fluctuated in recent weeks, but climbed steadily after some dovish remarks from policymakers. And the U.S. government says it will investigate any airlines that it suspects didn't comply with flight reductions mandated during the government shutdown. Carriers that didn't comply could face penalties of up to $75,000 for every flight operated above the mandated limits. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original. Why do I feel so strongly about Overhead? I've been with them for a long time, not only as a partner here at KMOX, but also as a customer. In fact, I can remember the day, it really stands out, the day they installed our door, because I got home and I was like, gosh, when are they going to come over and install the garage door? You know, they take out the other one. So I pulled around to the back side of the house. Boom, new garage door. What? I mean, they got it done in one day. They cleaned it up. Everything looked incredible. And the garage door looks exactly the same as it did 10 years ago. It's a great product. It's in great shape. And they do really wonderful work and efficient work in keeping it tuned and efficient throughout its lifetime. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. In fact, they are giving veterans and active military this month 10% off. So you still have time to book an appointment with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Details on their website for veterans and active military. 314-781-5200. Schedule online, overheaddoorstlouis.com.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Join in the festivities as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra presents Beethoven's Seventh, Energy and Reverie. Sparks of energy will fly across Powell Hall in this spirited Thanksgiving weekend event featuring one of Beethoven's personal favorites, his blazing, boisterous Seventh Symphony. Pianist Joyce Yang joins to give her interpretation of Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini, November 29th and 30th. Tickets at slso.org.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
It's a Thanksgiving Day football feast Thursday as the Chiefs face the Cowboys.
Siteman Cancer Center game time, 2 p.m. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Cowboys, on your home for Chiefs football. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, let's get a check of the roadways and the weather because they are both entwined this morning. Roger Brand has the latest on your ride-in from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, roads are wet. You could have some issues. In fact, we have a crash right now, Debbie, on southbound 61 just before 70. It's jammed at Wentzville Parkway, but it actually slows almost midway between W and Highway P on southbound 61, so very busy there. They have a crash with injuries reported southbound 79 near North Main Street. Just a little heavy there, not as bad as 61, not nearly as bad as 61. Northbound 270, you're bogged down from 55 to Gravois. Big Bend up to Manchester, both ways around Ladue are a little busy right now. Eastbound 70, still a little slowdown from the airport up to the Natural Bridge exit. I believe we had an incident there. Northbound 55 on Bayless up to River to Pears heavy, and westbound 64 slow from the 70 split headed across the Poplar. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. I'm just curious about this S word you threw into Saturday.
Uh-oh, S word,
Yeah.
huh?
What's going on there?
Yes. It's a storm system that's going to come out of the Rockies Friday night and Saturday morning, and there's enough cold air on its front side that I think precipitation is likely to begin in the form of snow around here late Friday night into Saturday morning. So you wake up Saturday morning, you'll see these snowflakes saying, what's going on here? But that's what's going to happen. I do think there's enough warming that takes place during the day that changes to rain. But if you're going to be out and about or have plans to be out and about Saturday morning, you may want to think twice about that, or just plan on going slower than you normally would because of that threat of some snow. Now today, it's still going to be mild. One last mild day ahead of this shot of cold air. It's a fog, spotty drizzle, touch of rain this morning. It really won't be much. A mostly cloudy day overall, the high 62. Front comes through early tonight. It'll become windy and turn much colder behind it, low 36. More sunshine tomorrow, but windy and much chillier, the high only 45. Low 40s with sunshine on Thanksgiving Day. Friday, we start with sun, then clouds increase to high 40. And then late Friday night into Saturday morning, some snow overspreads the area. It probably changes to rain later Saturday with highs in the upper 30s. Right now, 53 at St. Peter's, 54 in Florissant, cloudy and still kind of misty, and 54 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is now 6:43. So the opening of Wicked for Good, that would be Wicked Part 2, turned out to be an early Christmas gift for Hollywood. We got more from the box office analyst Paul Daragabedian. He's with ComScore.
Box office has been in a bit of a slump. October was the lowest grossing since 1997. And then along comes Wicked and blows the doors off with this $150 million debut at the domestic box office, $226 million worldwide this weekend. I think it's about creating a movie in Wicked where everyone from the little kids to grandma and grandpa, and this movie is going to play through the holidays. And, a lot of people during the Thanksgiving break, they'll go to the movie theater multiple times. Women did power this according to the data, the demographic data, and of course, kids and families. It's a PG rated movie. PG rated films have really come into their own over the past couple of years. According to our ComScore data last year, PG movies outgrossed PG-13 movies for the first time ever. The first Wicked was a big part of that. But a lot of credit goes to Team Universal, the filmmakers, the stars. Everyone did everything right. And this was no overnight success. The first film a year ago opened to $112.5 million. This one opens to $151 million. It doesn't matter what the critics think. I think it matters what the audience feels. And not always, but that is the case with this film. It really was and is a cultural event. I think, and in a movie theater, that's where something can really grow like this. Look at Barbie. Look at the Barbenheimer phenomenon earlier this year, a Minecraft movie, people going and dressing up at the movie theater, going on social media, creating that FOMO factor. And there are other movies out there. A couple of weeks ago, Predator Badlands kind of broke the spell of the down box office. Then you have Now You See Me, Now You Don't out there, The Running Man, a lot of other films, a lot of awards contenders out there. But this is the best news for movie theaters. And guess what? On Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, in a couple of days, Zootopia 2 opens.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
The music. There's a snake! Snakes aren't the bad guys.
And that's a big PG rated, family animated film. The first Zootopia opened a few years ago, but it went on to earn over $1 billion in worldwide box office. Then we get into December, Avatar, Fire and Ash, Five Nights at Freddy's, Anaconda, Song Sung Blue. I mean, the list, I could name them all, but there are just so many great movies on the way.
Madison Square Garden in New York last night. The Blues took a 1-0 lead over the Rangers, took that lead into the first intermission. The Rangers answered with a goal, and then the game fell apart for the Blues in the third period. Seems like we've heard this story before. The Blues fell 3-2, missed opportunities, Coach Jim Montgomery.
We had a couple of shots that were passed up, and there was, we whiffed on a great chance to tie the game up right to net front in the pulled goalie situation, which, we need to start making some of those plays in those areas so that we can, have wins where we come from behind and kind of get on a streak.
And the Blues are really struggling in that area. They fall on the road to the Rangers. Final score 3-2. Monday Night Football, it was a win for the 49ers over Carolina 20-9. Former Panther Christian McCaffrey had a big night. His first game against Carolina since the Panthers traded him to San Francisco 3 years ago. McCaffrey, 142 yards from scrimmage, scored a touchdown to help San Francisco. They're 8-4 heading into the stretch run of the season and in a position for a playoff berth. The Panthers fell to 6-6. We'll learn the college football playoff rankings tonight, the new ones. In the meantime, the Cardinals have brought back Joel Pozo, their backup catcher. He returns on a major league deal. They recently non-tendered him. That just means they didn't offer him a contract. He becomes a free agent. It was an opportunity for them to renegotiate with Pozo, who had some big clutch hits for them. He was one of their best pinch hitters, and the Cardinals are loaded at catcher right now. Pedro Pajes, their regular starter last year, he is still under contract. There are some rumblings that he could be a trade candidate. Some teams could be interested in him, but you can never have enough catching depth. And with Pajes and Pozo back in, you have some time for Ivan Herrera to develop as a catcher once again. He is going back to catching instruction. You have two excellent prospects on the way. Jimmy Crooks, the former Texas League MVP, and Leonardo Bernal, who just won the minor league Gold Glove, all of the minor leagues. He was considered the best defensive catcher. He is one of the top prospects in the Cardinals organization. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-293-8030. That's 800-293-8030. 800-293-8030.
Christmas has arrived at Chesterfield Valley Nursery with hundreds of Christmas trees and our winter greens. Visit our garden center for your live holiday decor, from garland to poinsettias to custom live wreaths made right here at Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Open to the public, everyone is welcome. Stop by 16825 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, directly past the popular entertainment district. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's get you caught up on your ride in. It is 6:50. You're listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got heavy traffic out there in a lot of spots right now, Debbie. This traffic report's the service of Ambassadors of Harmony, southbound 61. A little bit better, but it's still bumper-to-bumper pockets from Highway P down to 6470, where we had a minor crash. Eastbound Highway 70, K in through TR Hughes, there's some volume and backed up traffic there. South 270, Olive to Ladue is kind of slow. North 270, a little slow approaching Tesson Ferry through Gravois. Big Bend up through Manchester, and then 64 up through Ladue, the usual slower stuff there. North 55, a little heavy into 67. Bayless up across River to Perry through Virginia. And downtown, westbound 64 from the 70 split most of the way to the Poplar. Again, just kind of off the pace. South 170, kind of busy at the U Club Tower as well. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
See the 5-time International Chorus Champions, Ambassadors of Harmony, with the St. Louis Children's Choir and Vocal Spectrum. 4 performances only, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Book at aoh.org or call 314-516-4949.
As for the weather, AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says we are going to have some spotty drizzle this morning. We've seen that here in downtown St. Louis. Otherwise, mainly cloudy, high 62 today. That's right, 62 for the high today. Enjoy that because it's going to get chilly, windy, and colder with some clearing tonight, low 36. Tomorrow, a high of just 45. More sun than clouds, but windy and chilly. Thanksgiving, it will be cold. Plenty of sun, but a high of only 42 degrees with a breeze. Right now, it's 52 downtown at the Arch.
And the news continues at 6:52. A weakening job market could lead to a rate cut and car prices reach an all-time high. Jessica Ettinger of CNBC reports.
Wall Street opens this morning after a nice Monday holiday week rally for stocks yesterday. The Dow was up 200 points. The Nasdaq was up just about 600 points. The financial markets will be closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving, but there's a half day of trading on Friday. So yesterday, we saw a reawakening of the AI trade. NVIDIA shares were higher, but the green for stocks doesn't mean the economy is easy. Some believe it's very uncertain.
Uncertainty is the word I would use. When you have policy that's driving in an inflationary direction at a time when the deficit is as large as it is and growing, and the tariffs distorting so much that's going on in our economy, It's hard to say I'm comfortable. I'm not of the view that we're about to go over a cliff, but a shock could come and we're not well poised to handle a shock.
Former Treasury Secretary Jack Lew on CNBC. Investors got another indication that the Fed, seeing the job market weakening, may cut interest rates at its December meeting.
Yeah, Mary Daly telling the Wall Street Journal that she does back a December rate cut, largely because of her concern about the labor market.
CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Leisman on the San Francisco Fed president's sentiment. Amazon to spend up to $50 billion on AI infrastructure for the U.S. government to support federal agencies. Americans are paying 30% more for a car since 2018. This is according to Cox Automotive, and loan payments for new cars have hit a record high again.
Auto loan monthly payments. According to TransUnion, the average monthly new vehicle auto loan payment is more than $750. A couple of things have been driving auto prices and auto payments higher. First of all, automakers are focusing on higher trim levels. I know everybody says, well, what about the base price? You know how few people order a base model? It just doesn't happen. And the automakers realize that people want the technology and the features that they've become used to.
CNBC's Phil LeBeau. On today's watch list, it's actually busy ahead of the holiday. We get earnings from big name retailers like Best Buy, Abercrombie & Fitch, Burlington Stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, Kohl's. Plus, we hear from J.M. Smucker and Workday. We find out the latest on home prices from S&P Case-Shiller. We also get the latest on consumer confidence today. And we'll get a report that's backward looking on inflation, the PPI for September, the producer price index. That's inflation at the wholesale level. That was held up in the government shutdown.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Happy birthday to
the pitch. A swing and a drive. That's hit to deep right center field. Back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Burleson with a home run.
And
swing and a long one. Looks like he did it. 4 home runs for Mark Whitten.
Yes, Alec Burleson and hard-hitting Mark Whitten, who hit 4 home runs in one game, are celebrating a birthday together. Burleson's 27, Whitten is 59. Hall of Fame coach Joe Gibbs, NASCAR team owner, is 85. Christina Applegate is turning 54 today, and a happy birthday to Amy Grant. She's 65.
Birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. To get a birthday or anniversary announced in this segment, email it to totalam@kmox.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Brian Klostermeyer from your mom. Also, happy birthday to Jason Purnell and Keith Willis.
The best birthday ever.
1898, that's when McKelvey Homes was founded 127 years ago, and a great group of people at McKelvey Homes. McKelvey Homes excited to introduce their newest community, the Reserve at Wildwood, a premier development located on 50 acres at the southwest corner of 109 and 100 in the heart of Wildwood. This community will offer a stunning collection of homes from their Liberty 2-car, Liberty 3-car designer series, designed with the high-quality craftsmanship that McKelvey's known for. McKelvey Homes, the Reserve at Wildwood. More than just a place to live, it's a place to thrive. Thoughtfully planned with families and outdoor lovers in mind, the community will feature a private playground, picturesque rain gardens, miles of walking trails that winds through scenic green spaces, encouraging an active and connected lifestyle. It sounds amazing. In Wildwood, a sought-after area of West County, McKelvey Homes. They always find the best places. McKelveyhomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey there, it's Steven, the owner of the Photo Pros, formerly Creve Coeur Camera. Each day, people bring us their family history, single photos in need of restoration, piles of photos wanting them to be scanned, boxes of slides, albums, videotapes, DVDs, and even old home movies. We take them and digitize them, or what we call scan them at high resolution, and place them on a USB thumb drive. Plus, many people want additional copies for the rest of the family. Yes, we'll make you copies. Here's the best part. You don't have to send them out of St. Louis and have a chance of losing them. If needed, we can fix or restore the entire image or images. We are slightly higher priced than the internet, but our quality is top notch. Remember the Photo Pros, formerly Creve Coeur Camera. Come visit Mark, Derek, Daryl, Tony, and me, Steven, at our store. You can reach us at 314-567-3456 or Google the Photo Pros or even Creve Coeur Camera.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we're slow on northbound 270 from about Big Bend up to Manchester and Clayton Road up to Ladue. South 270 south of Olive to Ladou's busy. Southbound 61 pockets of stop-and-go traffic. North of Highway P down to 64 due to a recent crash. We had a crash as well. Eastbound 70 at 79. There's stop-and-go stuff back through Highway K because of that. Northbound 55 Bayless up to River to Pears slow. Westbound 64 70 splits of the Poplar heavy. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Michael Wallace. President Trump's proposal to end the war between Russia and Ukraine may be making some headway. CBS's Vicki Barker.
Officials telling CBS News the Ukrainians have agreed to the revised U.S. brokered peace plan with just a few minor details still to be ironed out. They say Ukraine's President Zelensky could travel to Washington within days to sign an agreement.
CBS's Holly Williams.
The details of what the US and Ukraine have agreed are unclear, but we do know what the sticking points were. President Trump's 28-point peace plan demanded that Ukraine give up swaths of its territory to Russia, cut the size of its army, and agree to be barred from joining NATO.
There's been no official reaction from Russia yet. 14 years after he retired from the Navy, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly may be recalled to active duty so he can face a possible court-martial. The Pentagon wants to discipline the Democrat for telling service members to refuse illegal orders. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
Court-martials are usually reserved for serious criminal offenses, and punishments can range from reduction in rank to confinement and even hard labor. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that Kelly's conduct will be, quote, addressed appropriately.
Kelly says he will not be intimidated. Attorney General Pam Bondi plans to appeal after a judge dismissed the criminal charges against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James.
We'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal, to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable for their unlawful conduct.
The judge ruled the acting U.S. attorney who brought the charges was illegally appointed. They're cleaning up in the Houston area after a confirmed tornado damaged more than 100 homes. CBS's Karen Hua is there.
The storm snapped and uprooted a massive number of trees.
All these huge, beautiful trees, gone.
Leaving the area virtually impassable. And first responders overwhelmed.
We still need a lot of chainsaws and heavy equipment to move some of these trees out of here.
That work continued throughout the night with residents in the streets clearing broken branches and scattered debris in the pouring rain.
There were no serious injuries. Lawmakers are calling for an investigation of scam ads on Facebook and Instagram. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
A new report from Reuters alleges the tech giant earns as much as $16 billion in profits annually from advertising for scams and banned goods on its platforms.
In internal company documents, Meta projected 10% of its annual revenue comes from fake ads. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is 7:04, and right now in downtown St. Louis, it's just cloudy and a little misty, 52 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll check that forecast. It is going to get pretty chilly around here, and we'll get your Thanksgiving Day forecast in just a matter of minutes. One person is dead after an overnight mobile home fire in Jefferson County. It happened on Castle Ranch Road between DeSoto and Hillsborough. Hillsborough Fire Chief Brian Godet tells Fox 2 the fire has been contained.
Mobile homes, fires can be quick and rapidly spreading. They're small spaces, unsure what type of fuel, what was it loaded with, furniture or anything like that inside the structure can contribute to fire spread. It can pretty quickly contain a lot of smoke in the structure when a fire breaks out.
The deceased has not been identified yet. The state fire marshal will be investigating. The charter
purpose
school
of having high quality compliance special education practices is for the delivery of education.
And according to Charter School Association's Noah Devine and the Missouri Charter Public School Commission, that is not happening at St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts in the Park Pacific building downtown.
We should know later today if the commission received the comprehensive safety and education plan by yesterday's deadline. According to the commission, the school was facing shortfalls with safety, special education, academics, and governance. Noah Devine says every year sponsors of charter schools can talk on reviews and analysis of that compliance.
As well does the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. From time to time, revisions are needed. This is obviously more substantial, but our expectation is that compliance occurs for the betterment of the educational environment. Sometimes these sort of follow-ups are necessary because of something that is noticed.
Charter Public School Commission has given St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts until December 1st to implement the new plan, which must include safety measures. The students are on Thanksgiving break and return Monday if the school is allowed to remain open. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Closing arguments in the trial to oust St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office are expected today. 31 witnesses have testified since the trial began 4 days ago. Montgomery is facing several charges, including misuses of public resources and failing to transport prisoners for medical treatment.
There is some good news for your holiday table.
That's despite elevated prices in some areas. The American Farm Bureau Federation's annual survey shows the cost of a traditional Thanksgiving dinner is down overall this year. Missouri Farm Bureau President Garrett Hawkins says a few items did go up, but for the most part, the news is positive.
Sweet potatoes are up in price. Celery is up. So you see little fluctuations, not a lot. I think the biggest driver that folks need to be aware of is the price of turkey coming down a bit, and that's helping bring down the overall cost of the meal.
The survey puts the average price of a 16-pound frozen turkey at $21.50. Altogether, a traditional Thanksgiving meal for 10 people costs about $55 nationally, and in Missouri, it's roughly $10 less. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A St. Louis native is coming home to play Busch Stadium. Guns N' Roses announced their 2026 tour today, which includes a stop at the ballpark on August 16th. The band features guitarist Richard Fortus, a St. Louisan who's been part of the lineup since 2002, alongside original members Axl Rose and Slash. This will be the first time the band has performed at Busch Stadium. Fans can sign up for pre-sale tickets now with regular sales starting December 5th.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Six Flags in Eureka has a new leader. Parent company Six Flags Entertainment, based in Charlotte, North Carolina, has named John Riley as president and CEO. He replaces Richard Zimmerman, who is stepping down at the end of the year. According to the Business Journal, Riley has more than 30 years of experience in the amusement and recreation industry.
Traffic and weather next. It's 7:08.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. I've spent a lot of Sundays right here playing in front of the best fans in football. And now it's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win, a safe and secure app that's easy to use, and promos that keep the action going all season long. It's America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 in bonus bets on launch day, December 1st.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers, sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10. Good Tuesday morning to you for what is, for most of you, a shortened work week, our holiday week. We'll take a look at the forecast in just a moment here. But if you're heading off to work or wherever you're going, let's get you there as quickly as possible. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got a crash for northbound 55 drivers now, Debbie, unfortunately. Northbound 55, first of all, just a little heavy into 67, but you jam from Bayless up to Loughborough. There's a crash in the left lane. Looks like 4 vehicles involved. Left lane blocks only. The right lane's open at Loughborough. And again, jam back to Bayless. Northbound 270, Doherty Ferry all the way up to Ladue is heavy. South 270, south of Olive to Ladue is a little slow. Eastbound 70, approaching Bryan Road's heavy. It's bumper to bumper pockets into 79. We had an earlier crash there. That crash southbound 79 before 70 is a vehicle off the roadway in the ditch, not blocking anything there. Southbound 61, south of P, midway down to Wentzville Parkway, and south of there onto 64 to the Boulevard. That's pretty busy. Southbound 170, an incident on the Woodson Overpass has traffic bogged down between Midland and Page, and westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplars slow downtown. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, patchy fog and even a little drizzle in places to start the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and mild today, high 62. Tonight becoming increasingly windy and turning much colder with some clearing, low 36. It'll be windy and quite chilly tomorrow with more sun and clouds and a high of 45. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, will be breezy and cold with sunshine, the high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we have a cloudy sky, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12, and sports wagering in Missouri officially launches in a week.
Any professional sports, collegiate sports to an extent, but you'll be able to bet on sports all around the world.
Mike Lira is executive director of the Missouri Gaming Commission. You can establish an account now with approved providers ahead of that December 1st start. There are no limits on the amount you can bet, but the industry does fund a support program for problem gamblers.
There is a requirement that the first $5 million or 10% of the tax revenue, the greater of, goes into a problem gamblers fund.
Providers do have to utilize independent monitors to watch for abnormal wagering activity. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
It's become a thing, patients rushing to the doctor's office before the end of the year because they've satisfied their insurance deductibles. Dr. Laura Morris, a family practice physician in Fulton, says the type of appointments and the reasons for them vary widely.
I think we'll see, folks that want to come in and get evaluated so they can maybe have that knee replacement before their daughter gets married, or they're planning a big trip next summer and they need to come in and get a head start on getting their vaccines updated before they go out of the country.
Residents in St. Charles County pushing for change along Highway 364. They say increased traffic is making it incredibly noisy at their homes. They want the Missouri Department of Transportation to build a sound barrier wall. MoDOT points to a 2013 study that found the area doesn't qualify for a state-funded wall and that it would only reconsider if the highway is expanded.
A new hospital at Fort Leonard Wood now has an official opening date.
The General Leonard Wood Community Hospital is set to start welcoming patients on April 7th. It's a new state-of-the-art medical facility. It's going to replace one of the oldest operating military hospitals in the continental United States. It's designed to offer modern, world-class care to service members, retirees, and their families. In a release, hospital director Colonel Angela Dybell Lee says the building is a symbol of their endearing commitment to those who serve. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The city of Festus is moving forward with a plan to build a new data center. The city council voting unanimously last night to approve rezoning hundreds of acres of land near Highway 67 and County Road CC. Residents say they are worried about added noise and environmental impacts from that data center. Others say the jobs it will create are worth it. There are still several phases the project has to go through before construction could begin.
And if you're traveling through Illinois for Thanksgiving, the Department of Transportation announced lanes have been closed for construction, but they will reopen where possible for that long weekend to minimize disruption. Non-emergency disclosures will be suspended from 3 o'clock Wednesday through midnight Sunday. In Madison County, starting today through Wednesday, left lane of 5570 northbound lane at the northbound exit ramp to 157 is for emergency bridge deck patching. Cardinals made a move yesterday. They brought back Joel Pozo.
With one out. The pitch, the runner goes from first. There's a long one. Left field. It's a goner out of Wrigley Field. Joel Pozo with a pinch 3 home run. Unbelievable.
He did that a lot, didn't he? A magical bat off the bench. Joel Pozo, backup catcher for the Cardinals. The 3-run bomb back on July 5th to help the Cardinals at Wrigley Field. Pozo backing up at the moment Pedro Pajes, but Ivan Herrera is on the way. He wants to get back to catching and will be doing that once he comes off his elbow rehab. And they have 2 stud prospects coming in Jimmy Crooks and Leonardo Bernal. So the Cardinals are all set at catcher. They also brought back Sem Robertsa, and they have Scott Blewett, a minor league pitching deal. John King was the other one that they non-tendered. Taking a look at hockey, the Blues lost. Final score was 3-2 at Madison Square Garden. The Blues just can't get this going. They had a 1-0 lead after one period of play and lost this game basically in the third period, giving up a couple of goals and eventually falling 3-2. Jim Montgomery, their coach, was asked about the first 2 periods and if he found any positives. His answer, probably something the players don't want to hear.
To be honest, I didn't think we were humming in the first 2. I didn't think we played with the requisite of intensity and connectedness and puck support that we've been playing with the 3 previous games.
The Blues falling 3-2 at the Garden to the Rangers. Meantime, Monday Night Football on the other coast, it was San Francisco beating Carolina 20-9. College basketball, it'll be Thursday night when SLU takes on Santa Clara. In fact, we have a special announcement about that. The Billikens will be playing on 11:20 a.m. During Thursday afternoon, we will carry the Chiefs and the Cowboys on 104.1 FM and 1120. And then when the Billikens get started against Santa Clara with a 5:45 pregame, we will split our signal and put content on 11:20 a.m. only from the Billikens. Then when the Chiefs game concludes, we'll put them back on 104.1 and 11:20. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Watching Hurricane Katrina make landfall.
There, when we came together.
We are at the Schnucks at Butler Hill, just off 55. We are collecting donations and goods for Hurricane Katrina victims.
Move-in kits for the folks who were evacuated because of Hurricane Katrina.
There's just a steady stream of cars, people donating entire, baskets full of things.
It's amazing to see this many people.
KMOX listener said I had to drop by and give something off.
Detergent and bleach and towels and cleansers.
What it all comes down to is this is a great way for you today to help the victims.
Pretty amazing. In fact, it's kind of choking me up how supportive everyone has been.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by St. Louis Public Library, St. Louis's original search engine.
Discover one of St. Louis's greatest treasures, St. Louis Public Library's Central Library. Designed by world-renowned architect Cass Gilbert and completed in 1912, this Beaux Arts masterpiece blends stunning historic details with modern design after a $70 million award-winning renovation. Experience the grandeur for yourself. Free docent-led tours are available Mondays at 11 and 12:30 and Saturdays at 11 noon and 1 p.m. Visit online at slpl.org to learn more. St. Louis Public Library.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:20, let's check back in with Roger Brand, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're busy on the south side, Tom. If you're on northbound Highway 67 at Buck Creek, we have an overturned vehicle crash. EMS responding as we speak. Just a little bit of a backup there. We'll keep tabs on that. Northbound 55 approaching 67 has about a mile slowdown. The right lane's busy, Butler Hill up to 270, and then we're jammed from the Union Road overpass up to this crash. It's in the left lane, northbound 55 at Loughborough, only the right lane open for that one. Northbound 270, Sappington through Gravois slow from about Big Bend up through Ladue is pretty busy. Southbound just a little off the pace south of Oliveville, Ladue. Eastbound 70, east of Wensfield Parkway into 64. The left lanes are a little busy, the right lanes are a little busy, and then it's bogged down from Lake St. Louis Boulevard in through 79, stop and go pockets. Southbound 61, Wensfield Parkway onto 64 at the Boulevard's busy, a little busy at the Inner Belt, and downtown westbound 64 from the 70 split headed up to the Poplar Street Bridge. We've got some slow traffic. It looks like we've got a crash again eastbound, east of the Poplar Street Bridge in those right lanes, so just be prepared for that as well. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be kind of a foggy, drizzly morning, but otherwise the rest of the day should be mostly cloudy. High of 62. That's the warmest day of this 5-day forecast because it really starts to cool off. Tomorrow is going to be more sun than clouds, high 45. Then Thanksgiving Day, plenty of sun, high of 42. 40 on Friday, 39 on Saturday. It's 52 degrees out there right now.
Weather sponsored by Lion's Choice, where you can enjoy a quick and delicious meal, but make it healthy with plenty of low-cal, low-carb, vegetarian, and gluten-free options. There's something to satisfy everyone on the Lion's Choice menu. Stop by today, Lion's Choice.
The news continues at 7:22. Some of the groups behind the No Kings protests are now going a step further, calling for a holiday season consumer boycott. One campaign called Mass Blackout is set to start today and will run for a week. We get more from Margaret Carrero, who speaks with one of the organizers, Glo Sahay.
Specifically around consumers taking their power back and not spending at 3 specific targets, which is Home Depot, Target, and Amazon. And the reason that we chose 3 targets is that we want this campaign to be accessible to a wide variety of consumers. We know that there's many consumers who may just be now thinking about the realities of corporations, corporate greed, and their impact on their everyday life. We wanted this to be accessible. We know that people are still going to want to buy things. We know that people are going to be looking at holiday spending. In the example of Target, has made promises around DEI and then rolled that back. In the case of Amazon, they've funded the administration and continue to do so. We just saw that they funded the White House ballroom. And also from Home Depot, we've seen them continue to coordinate with ICE. We've seen people arrested in their parking lot. And so this campaign, it's not really about guilt. You know, if you have to buy something, it's about buying Black, buying local, and redirecting your dollars.
So this really is kind of like an extension of the protests that we see out in the streets, but it's being done with the power of the purse.
Yes, this is really about people taking back their spending, their consumer power, and in some respects, voting with their dollars.
Is there any concern at all that doing something like this could impact the people that work for those big corporations?
So yes, we have taken that into consideration. Target has been supported by people who have been organizing around Target for a long time, and they have made considerations for the workers. There are several people that support that campaign that also work at Target or have formerly worked at Target. For the Home Depot campaign, we are also supported by Endelon, which is the National Day Laborers Organization, and they also have support from Home Depot organizers. From Amazon, we also get support from Amazon unions. So there is a lot of consideration taken back into this. And ultimately, these types of campaigns, the goal is to also benefit workers as well by ensuring that the policies that are put into place are actually honored by these corporations.
A stand-up comic is now accused of criminal threats against a politician. CBS Sacramento reporter Steve Large has details.
Law enforcement says it's no laughing matter.
And I don't know if you guys know anything about the Condits.
Comedian Anthony Crayon-Hagen's stand-up leading to his lockup in Stanislaus County Jail over alleged threats against Stanislaus County Supervisor Chance Condit.
Hey, in the corner. Can you guys not be so goddamn loud?
The criminal case allegedly stemming from a comedy show at the Shea Root Lounge, where surveillance video shows Crayon-Hagen performing and calling out a group the supervisor was with inside the venue for being loud during his set.
We got comedy night going on. I'm saying, can we just be cool for like 20 more minutes?
More surveillance video from a day later shows Condit back at the Shea Root Lounge complaining about Crayon-Hagen's behavior to the owner. And court documents detail what happened next. Supervisor Condit alerting the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department about escalating exchanges with the comedian. November 12th, Condit alleges he received a message on Facebook reading, "What's up? Is there still an issue?" Then Condit claims he called Crayon-Hagen and the comedian yelled obscenities over the phone, allegedly telling Condit he is green lit. A reference the court documents say is a go-ahead to execute a hit or action on a subject. A judge signed a warrant for the comedian's arrest, and he's now facing several felony charges.
It just seems completely blown out of proportion. It's like the comment is being so dramatically inflated into something it never was.
Jessica Graves is an attorney who is not connected to the case. Crayon-Hagen has no criminal history in Stanislaus County, where he's from. If he's got no criminal record in this area, should that be taken into account?
Absolutely, 100%. And especially in light of this type of charge. And I think what's absolutely missing here is the immediacy. The threat has to be clear, immediate, and specific. And you just don't have that here.
Court documents show a Stanislaus County detective assigned to the County Threat Assessment Center wrote the affidavit for the comedian's arrest warrant, reading in part, "Due to the contemporary culture of mass casualty attacks and political figure assassinations in the U.S., actions like Crayon-Hagen's are treated as a serious threat and responded to directly."
And I don't know if you guys know anything about the Condits.
A comedy act escalating into a criminal act. Prosecutors say this comic's material wasn't funny, it was a felony. And Supervisor Condit has also asked for a criminal protective order against Crayon-Hagen. The comedian is due back in court in December.
It is 7:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
The number one Genesis dealer in Missouri is, of course, Genesis of St. Charles. That's based on GMA sales records for 2024. Genesis of St. Charles is going to close out 2025 strong. They are the premier Genesis dealer. They're the ones who built that fantastic facility, the first and only standalone Genesis dealership in the state of Missouri. It's located at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. There's a chance you're driving by it right now, right off I-70, off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. You see that over there? Genesis of St. Charles. I and the general manager, Shay, invite you in to check it out. The vehicles are amazing. The people are great. The deals are great. The signature event at Genesis of St. Charles, they want your trade. They're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. And unlock the e-price at genesisofstcharles.com right now, and you can have upfront pricing. No games, no gimmicks at Genesis of St. Charles. That's what I like about them. Here's the price. Boom. And take great care of you. Genesis of St. Charles, genesisofstcharles.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. They would like me to wish you all very happy holidays. I'll let you know that not only are they still working, but they're very busy, but they have time for you. Zero Res has been with me now for the better part of 20 years. I've used them a dozen times. My friends and family have used them dozens of times. I've never heard anything but glowing responses from DGS listeners. They can do your wall-to-wall carpets. They can do area rugs. They can do upholstery. They can do dryer vents. They can do air ducts. And they're having a very special offer. A Black Friday offer, 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119, $75 off your air duct cleaning. So it's a great deal, great people. Call 314-474-2020. You can also book online at zeroresstl.com. Just let them know you heard about them on the DGS.
It is 7:30. This is Tuesday, November 25th, and right now we've got cloudy skies. It's 52 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're coming into work on northbound Highway 55, just be advised you have the normally heavy traffic coming up through 67. It's normally heavy running through there right now. But then we have this crash northbound 55 at Loughborough, still blocking the left lane. Only the right lane's open because that's in the work zone. So North 55 is a solid jam back through the Union Road overpass. Northbound 67, the delay is also getting longer coming up to Buck Creek. That's an overturned vehicle crash. Traffic's backed up through Meyer Road right now on northbound 67 as well. North 270, 55 up to 44, slow. Big Bend up to Ladou's pretty busy. South 270, just a little slow past 364. Not bad there. Eastbound 70, heavy at Lake St. Louis Boulevard, backed up east of Bryan Road through K, heavy up to TR Hughes. Southbound 61, south of P, a couple of spots down to 64. Southbound 79 and North Main Street's a little busy. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker out through Hanley, slow. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar, pretty busy. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather for today, you might see some patchy fog, just depending on where you are, some spotty drizzle this morning. The rest of the day is just going to be mostly cloudy and 62 degrees. It starts to cool down, though, after today. Tomorrow's high, just 45 degrees. It's warmer than that now. It's 52 downtown.
Downtown charter school St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts in the Park Pacific building is on probation and facing a deadline to submit and implement a safety plan.
The Missouri Charter Public School Commission's preliminary investigation revealed a child left the building alone last month. Safety, staffing, governance, and academic concerns. Noah Devine is with the Charter School Association.
You can't continue a building or a school or anything of that nature that is not keeping kids safe. And so that is why you see in that letter really those only two options. Either fix it and address it, or if that cannot be done for whatever reason, then there is only one other choice on the table.
And that choice is to close. The children are on Thanksgiving break and scheduled to return December 1st. And that's the deadline the Charter Public School Commission set for submitting the new plan and implemented it. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Red Cross of St. Louis providing tips to avoid burning down your house this Thanksgiving.
Clean the cooking surfaces on a regular basis to prevent grease buildup.
Red Cross of St. Louis Executive Director Lucretia Cox.
Consider purchasing a fire extinguisher to keep in your kitchen. That's really important too, so that in the event that there is a fire, then you can put one out.
Red Cross data shows about 44% of the fires that crews respond to happen during this holiday.
A gift to a family in need could be a lifeline this holiday season.
You know, it's been a difficult year for so many of our neighbors, and a lot of our people and families in the region are struggling to just meet their basic needs.
Becky White with the United Way of Greater St. Louis says they hope to help about 5,000 families this year with their 100th annual 100 Neediest Cases campaign. You can adopt a family or provide support in other ways, including ordering items off of a special Amazon wish list. Go to 100neediestcases.org to learn how you can help.
One of St. Louis's popular music festivals has been canceled for 2026. Organizers of Evolution Festival say the cancellation is because of all the other major events across the country, including our nation's 250th birthday and the Olympics. The festival, held in Forest Park, is expected to just take a 1-year pause.
We'll check your Money Minute next. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high rise in Singapore and let
it go
ride.
and load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive. No, let's be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It is 7:36, and it's time for your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Alphabet shares are set to push higher for a third consecutive session. The search giant inching closer to $4 trillion in market value. The latest rally comes in a report that Meta is in discussions to use Alphabet's AI chips in its data centers. And with the second anniversary approaching of the Alaska Air mid-air door blowout that plunged Boeing into crisis, the plane maker is reinforcing its safety and quality plans. The company says early results are encouraging. They've been able to raise 737 output to 42 jets a month. Zoom reported quarterly revenue that topped analyst estimates. The maker of a popular video conferencing tool is pushing a broader range of products. And David Geffen, the billionaire media mogul, stands to reap more than $500 million in profit for the expected sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. Gavin, who's now 82, had purchased about 30 million shares of Warner Brothers at roughly $7 to $8 a share. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Life doesn't stand still, and neither do your goals. At Busey Bank, we're here to help you move forward with the financial tools, local support, and expert guidance you need to take your next step. Whether you're growing a business, leaving a legacy, or saving for the future, you'll have a team that's ready when you are. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Coffee House, how are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
There is nothing like watching Thanksgiving football, but for football fans in Missouri, this year, FanDuel is about to make it even better. With points giving, all FanDuel customers in Missouri get $1 in bonus bets for every point scored in the Chiefs-Cowboys game. So, for example, if the final score is 24-21, you'd get $45 in bonus bets. Doesn't matter if you've already signed up for FanDuel or if you've been waiting for the right moment to join. Just head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get in on the action in Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri to score bonus bets for every point in the Chiefs-Cowboys game. Enjoy a football feast with points giving on FanDuel, coming soon to Missouri. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
This is Congressman Bob Andre. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit andre.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
It's a Thanksgiving Day football feast Thursday as the Chiefs face the Cowboys.
Sightman Cancer Center game time 2 p.m. Sightman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Cowboys, on your home for Chiefs football. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Just a reminder, we on that day also have the Billikens. They play a little bit later than the Chiefs start. They start at 5:45 with a 6 o'clock tip against Santa Clara. We will actually announce on 104.1 FM that we're going to put the Billikens on 11:20 a.m. at that time. First time that we've ever done this. And then when the Chiefs game is over, we'll go right back to the Billikens on 104.1. So you'll be able to flip
See the
back
flexibility that we have now?
Oh, how about that?
That is amazing.
That might get some people's attention. We'll see.
It's 7:41. If you're just heading out the door, let's see if there's any problems in your way. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got a new crash on Highway 70, Debbie. As traffic reports the service of the Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living. It's westbound 70, west of Bermuda. Lane blockage there, so traffic's backed up pretty close to Jennings Station, and eastbound's backed up coming up the hill from Florissant Road on the way by for a look-see. Eastbound 70, Wentzville Parkway into Highway Z, slow, and then from Lake St. Louis into 79, there's some heavier traffic as well. Southbound 61, midway between P and Wentzville Parkway into 64, the Boulevard, slow. It's busy between Clarkson and Timberlake. South 170 bogs down at Olive. South 270 a little busy at 364, and then again south of Olive. North 270, north of 55 up to 44, and Big Bend up to Ladou's all busy. Eastbound 44 looks like we have an incident, a crash at Elm. It's jammed back pretty close to Big Bend. Northbound 67 at Buck Creek. Overturned vehicle crash there is backed up past Meyer Road. 55 is slow at Butler Hill and jams north of Rivas up to River de Pere through Loughborough. They were clearing that crash. It was in the left lane downtown. Westbound 64 bought of the Poplars on the brakes. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. We had some ugly weather. How long is that going to continue?
I think a couple more hours with this low overcast with some spotty drizzle and fog, but that'll give way to brightening skies. I don't know that we'll actually see much in the way of sun today, but it will look brighter later today ahead of this strong cold front, or high 62. As the front comes through early tonight, the wind will pick up and skies will begin to clear. The overnight, though, by morning down to 36. That means a windy, chilly day, but a good day weather-wise if you're doing some traveling around the region. No precipitation tomorrow with sunshine and some clouds, or high 45. Thanksgiving Day itself, breezy and cold. Lots of sunshine, the high 42. A cold day Friday. We start with sun, then clouds, increase the high 40. And a storm system is going to come through here on Saturday. And as precipitation moves in, there's probably enough cold air around at the start of it for some snow to break out late Friday night and early Saturday before it changes to rain. But a cold rain at that. Saturday's high 39. 53 at St. Peter's, 54 in Florissant. Cloudy, and 54 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:43. Universal Pictures' Wicked for Good has taken the box office by storm, earning an estimated $150 million in North America and $226 million globally in its opening weekend. It's the biggest opening ever for a Broadway musical adaptation, surpassing the first film's $112 million launch last year. And it is the second biggest opening of the year. Released earlier this week, the film played in more than 4,000 North American locations, with IMAX showings contributing about $15.5 million. And maybe no surprise here, women making up 71% of ticket buyers.
The bidding went sky high for a super rare Superman comic book.
It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! A copy of the first Superman comic, a 1939 Superman #1 first edition, has sold for $9,120,000 this month.
There was a lot of spirited bidding. It shattered the previous world record.
Lon Allen, vice president of comics at Heritage Auctions, says the copy was unearthed in a cardboard box under layers of old newspapers and cobwebs by three brothers who were cleaning out their late mother's attic in San Francisco.
It's one of the most desirable comic books that you could own. It's in the very highest grade. It's the original printing.
The buyer and the three brothers remain unidentified. In a statement released by the auction house, one of the brothers says the comic and its story is a testament to memory, family, and the unexpected ways the past finds its way back to us. I'm Jennifer King.
Into the windup and the 1-2 pitch. The Cardinal catcher hits a high fly ball to left field. That's back to the track at the wall, and it's a gunner. Pozo with his first home run for the Cardinals, his second of the year. 2-0 Cardinals.
That's when Cardinals fans got to see it for the first time. Joel Pozo hitting a home run back on June 11th against the Blue Jays, his first at Busch Stadium. John Rooney had that call on KMOX. Pozo had some big hits for the Cardinals in 2025, a lot of them off the bench as a pinch hitter. He was the backup catcher to Pedro Pajes last year. The Cardinals did not tender him a contract offer, basically making him a free agent, but he wasn't out there for long. The Cardinals have inked him to a new deal. They announced it yesterday. They've also inked Sem Robertson and Scott Blewett to minor league pitching deals. So Pozo back with the Cardinals, and they are loaded at catcher, with Ivan Herrera now trying to work his way back into the catching picture. They already have Pedro Pajes under contract. Could they end up dealing him? We'll see. They have two young prospects on the way in Jimmy Crooks and Leonardo Bernal. So the Cardinals are all set at the catching position moving forward. The Blues, they are struggling to find the right mix in their roster. They lost again last night, 3-2 at Madison Square Garden. The Blues scored early and then didn't score again until 1:15 to go, with Braden Shen scoring as the Blues pulled their goaltender. Here's Coach Jim Montgomery speaking with the media.
Yeah, we had opportunities to extend it, not as many as we've had.
And Hove played really well to maintain that 1-0 lead.
Talking about Joel Hofer, the goaltender right there. As for the
Yeah,
power
a couple
play,
of shots that were passed up, and there was, we whiffed on a great chance to tie the game up right to net front in the pulled goalie situation, which, we need to start making some of those plays in those areas so that we can, have wins where we come from behind and kind of get on a streak.
frustrating time right now for the Blues. They fall 3-2 at Madison Square Garden to the Rangers. Monday Night Football was the 49ers over the Panthers 20-9. College football's playoff rankings come out tonight. In college basketball, the new AP Top 25 has Purdue, Arizona, Houston, Duke, and Connecticut. The top 5. Illinois falls from 8 down to 13 after losing to Alabama. In games yesterday, it was a win for Lindenwood over Kansas City, 80-67. UAB beat Southern Illinois, 81-73. The 13th ranked Illini struggled a bit with UT Rio Grande Valley, but ended up knocking them off 87-73 in Champaign. And LIU Brooklyn handled Missouri State 75-61. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Winter Wonderland, presented by St. Louis County Parks and Recreation at Tillis Park, is open Wednesday, November 26th through January 3rd. Enjoy more than 1 million dazzling lights with holiday characters and festive scenes. Whether you're carrying on a family tradition or starting a new one, you'll never see anything like Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park. Happy holidays from Kirkwood Fence, Tully Tire, Washington U Orthopedics, Restoration One, and Happy Roof. Get more info at KMOX.com.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:50 and time to check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're still working the crash, Debbie. The flatbeds are on the scene at least, but the left lane's still shut down. Northbound 55 at Loughborough from that earlier crash. Northbound 55 is jammed back to about north of Revis Barracks up to that scene. Northbound 67 still working the overturned vehicle wreck at Buck Creek. Traffic's jammed back south of Meyer Road. We have this crash westbound 70 west of Bermuda. Left lane's closed there. Traffic is a solid jam back into the city now. It looks like it's pretty close to Riverview on westbound Highway 70 as you head out of the city. And eastbound 70 is a little slow coming in from Hanley for a look. Eastbound 44 at Elm, there's a crash. It's jammed at Lindbergh. North 270 slow. 55 up to 44. North of 44 all the way to Ladue, so it's pretty busy the whole way through. South 170, stop and go pockets from Olive down to 64. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker out to Hanley's heavy. Eastbound 64 coming off 61. Wentzville Parkway to the Boulevard's pretty slow through the Chesterfield Parkways and right at the Interbelt. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis, most of the way in through TR Hughes is pretty busy as well. Downtown westbound 64, Ball to the Poplar, that's still slow. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, Roger, we're looking at a cloudy day today, high 62, and then we're going to start getting cold around here. Windy, turning much colder tonight with some clearing, a low of 36. Tomorrow, windy, chilly, more sun than clouds, high 45. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, cold. It'll be breezy. Lots of sun, but a high of only 42 degrees. Currently, it's 52 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52. There could be a breakthrough in talks between the U.S. and Ukraine to end the war waged by Russia. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams.
A senior Ukrainian official posted on social media this morning that the U.S. and Ukraine have reached a, quote, common understanding on the core terms of the agreement. Now, we don't have any details on what that agreement is, but we do have a very good sense on what the sticking points were. President Trump's original 28-point peace plan, which we became aware of last week, required that Ukraine hand over swaths of territory permanently to Russia, that it reduced the size of its military, and it also said that Ukraine would be barred from joining NATO.
President Trump's effort to punish two of his most outspoken critics in the courts are not moving forward, at least for now. A judge threw out indictments against fired FBI Director James Comey and New York State Attorney General Letitia James, saying the acting U.S. attorney who filed them was not properly appointed. The charges can be refiled, and the Justice Department is looking for a way to do that. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland with more.
Comey had been facing charges of making a false statement to Congress back in 2020, and he welcomed the ruling.
This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
An attorney for Letitia James, who was charged with mortgage fraud, said, quote, "This case was not about justice or the law. It was about targeting Attorney General James."
New rules and customer protections regarding power companies and data centers go into effect next week. After a number of data center proposals were met with residents angry about what that means for their electric bills, Missouri regulators approved a large load tariff that requires data centers to cover infrastructure costs, sign a 12-year contract, and pay an exit fee if they go bankrupt or shut down early. Additionally, Ackerman, Missouri, whose profits spiked compared to the same time last year, must return 65% of excess profits from data centers to customers when profits exceed about 10% of its return on equity.
The fight for school vouchers in Missouri is now playing out in court. The teachers union claims money was unlawfully diverted away from public schools earlier this year. The union is asking a judge to rule that the state's $50 million private school voucher program is illegal. Supporters of the program argue it will hurt students who are already using the money to attend private schools.
A new study shows 96% of car buyers want their next vehicle to have a radio. We get more from Jeff Gilbert.
The study from the research firm Critical Mass shows consumers find radio easy to use and a good source for entertainment and information. Some brands have removed AM radios. Tesla's removed AM and FM in some vehicles, replacing it with streaming. Congress is looking at requiring AM radio as a safety feature.
Gosh, do we agree with that? I would say yes.
And 96% of people agree with us.
That might be the best thing I've heard all morning. Thank you, Jeff Gilbert, for that. Yes, absolutely. Support radio when you can. And I think the evidence of our 100th, we just had so many stories about the things that we have done as a radio station, but the things that we will continue to do to be innovative. And the one thing that stayed the same is you can still turn on your radio and for free, you get this content 24 hours a day. We don't close.
No. And while they talk about just using streaming in cars, keep in mind that your cell phone may not have a Wi-Fi signal, or you may not have any signal, and then you have no programming.
Amen to that.
Or no GPS.
It's 7:56. Traffic next.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
St. Louis Auto Show returns January 22nd through 25th at the America Center. Bring the whole family and explore hundreds of new vehicles from the world's biggest automotive brands. Then get up close and personal with the coolest, most expensive rides ever created at the $1 Million Mile. There's even something for the kids with our Mid-America Chevy dealers sponsored Kids Zone. Get your tickets today at stlautoshow.com. Kids 12 and under get in free. That's stlautoshow.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It is 7:58. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the left lane is still an issue, Debbie. They're working that crash in the left lane, northbound 55 at Loughborough. Traffic's backed up through Rivas Barracks. Eastbound 44 at Elm, there's a crash. That's blocking the left lane as well. Eastbound 44 is a solid jam at Lindbergh, and they're still working that injury crash. Westbound 70 just west of Bermuda, the left lane's blocked there. Traffic's jammed back to Riverview in the city. South 170, south of Page, down through Ladue area is pretty busy. After that, it's in better shape. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
52 degrees and cloudy in downtown St. Louis. I'm Tom Ackerman. These are the stories making news. Megan Lynch joining us next hour. There's no human at the wheel. Driverless taxi service expands in the U.S.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. The Pentagon says it is investigating Senator Mark Kelly over a video urging troops to defy illegal orders. Megan Lynch talks it over with CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland.
How do you know which books and videos on your kids' holiday wish list are appropriate? Learn more about media ratings for your family.
We're going to tell you how to avoid a plumbing disaster after your big Thanksgiving meal.
Do not pour grease down the drain.
No.
Or rice, for that matter.
Oh, rice.
Yeah,
Okay.
toss that rice up. It's 8.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Michael Wallace. Ukraine has agreed to a revised version of the peace proposal brokered by the Trump administration to stop the war with Russia. CBS's Holly Williams says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has weighed in.
Last night, in an address to the nation, he said that changes had been made to that plan and it could become workable. Now, we cannot confirm those changes, but there's reporting that it could remove the veto on NATO membership for Ukraine, that it could include security guarantees for Ukraine, and that it may not restrict the size of Ukraine's military.
Zelensky may travel to Washington this week to sign the deal. There's been no official response from Russia. They're assessing the damage in the Houston area after yesterday's tornado. No one was seriously injured, but more than 100 homes were hit. CBS's Karen Hua is in Spring, Texas.
The storm may be over, but the cleanup is just beginning here. Piles of fallen trees and debris behind me, which is what much of this neighborhood in Spring looks like. And while residents say they did get several warnings ahead of this quick storm, it was far more intense than they thought it would be.
More Thanksgiving travelers are hitting the road today. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The FAA says today will actually be its busiest day as far as scheduled flights go. About 250 of those will be United flights leaving here at Dulles. Crews working around the clock to make sure they get out on time and also watching the weather.
There's snow falling in the northern plain states today and rain in the Midwest and Southeast. Authorities in Paris have arrested 4 more suspects in last month's jewel heist at the Louvre. The 2 men and 2 women were taken into custody today. The loot, worth $102 million, has not been recovered. Authorities in New York have busted a gang of sophisticated porch pirates on Long Island. CBS's Jared Ocheter.
Seems like the thieves were targeting electronics and cell phones. 14 people face felony charges. In terms of a dollar amount, they found at least $100,000 in a stash house, but we don't have the exact dollar amount for everything that has been taken.
Prosecutors say the suspects got information from insiders at FedEx to track the packages. An annual White House tradition returns today.
Drumstick, you are hereby pardoned.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe says 2 turkeys will be spared today.
President Trump is set to participate in the pardoning of Gobble and Waddle. They were raised by farmer Travis Pittman from Wayne County, North Carolina, who typically raises flocks of at least 19,000 on his farm for Butterball, the nation's largest turkey producer.
Gobble and Waddle will live out their days at the Department of Poultry Science at North Carolina State University. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, November 25th. I'm Megan Lynch. A deadly mobile home fire overnight in southern Jefferson County. It happened on Castle Ranch Road between DeSoto and Hillsborough. Hillsborough Fire Department was first to arrive on the scene. Chief Brian Gaudet tells our news partner Fox 2.
The structure was what we call fully involved, to where every ounce of the building was, engulfed in flames on the inside and blowing out of all the windows. So it was quite an intense fire when we first arrived here on the scene.
The identity of the person killed in the fire has not been released. The state fire marshal will be investigating. Downtown Charter School, St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Arts in the Park Pacific building on probation and facing a deadline to submit and implement a safety plan.
The Missouri Charter Public School Commission's preliminary investigation revealed a child left the building alone last month. Safety, staffing, governance, and academic concerns. Noah Devine is with the Charter School Association.
You can't continue a building or a school or anything of that nature that is not keeping kids safe. And so that is why you see in that letter really those only 2 options. Either fix it and address it, or if that cannot be done for whatever reason, then there is only one other choice on the table.
And that choice is to close. The children are on Thanksgiving break and scheduled to return December 1st. And that's the deadline the Charter Public School Commission set for submitting the new plan and implemented it. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
In another week in Missouri, you'll be able to place a bet on your favorite sports. Mike Lira, executive director of the Missouri Gaming Commission, says there are a variety of providers, including 2 that are untethered, meaning they have no partnership with a professional sports team or an in-state casino.
Well, some of them cater to the smaller wagerer, and others cater to the larger wagerer.
All providers are required to have integrity monitoring, which is basically a third party watching for betting irregularities. The defense for the jailed St. Louis sheriff made a rare concession in court Monday. Sheriff's vehicles were used to take Alfred Montgomery's children to school. Attorney David Mason admitted it happened, but promised it stopped after news reports surfaced. On other charges, however, Mason remained defiant, asking, quote, "Where's the beef?" and arguing that the state's case relies on nitpicking over uniforms and golf carts.
I also want to point out a very dramatic moment in court when the defense attempted to have a witness call an alleged burner phone of Alfred Montgomery. This is a phone Montgomery allegedly used to threaten witnesses. The defense point being this is not a burner phone, just an average sheriff's office phone they had in their possession. They asked the witness to call it to see if it would ring. The judge put a stop to it, saying it's not relevant. It's part of the federal criminal case.
And that is Chris Hayes from our news partner Fox 2. The judge denied the defense's request to dismiss the case, setting the stage for closing arguments today. The Red Cross says 44% of the fires they respond to every year happen at Thanksgiving.
And always check the kitchen before going to bed or leaving home to make sure all stoves, ovens, and small appliances are off.
Red Cross St. Louis Executive Director Lucretia Cox says it wouldn't hurt to kick the kids out of the kitchen while the stove is hot.
Keeping your kids and your pets at least 3 feet away from the cooking areas. I think that is something that's important as well.
Cross everything off your list yet?
Some good news if you're headed to the grocery store this week. Garrett Hawkins is president of the Missouri Farm Bureau, says the American Farm Bureau Federation's annual survey shows that a holiday feast for 10 will cost less than last year.
We think about the traditional Thanksgiving meal of turkey and sweet potatoes or mashed potatoes, stuffing, pumpkin pie, etc. The overall cost of a typical dinner is down to $55 roughly on average. And in Missouri, we're about $10 under the national average.
Hawkins tells MissouriNet the report shows that turkey prices decreased by 16% this year when compared to last year. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, Centene shedding more of its real estate footprint in Clayton. The company is selling 2 properties that were once the site of its planned Phase 2 expansion. The vacant land sits directly across from the Ritz-Carlton. Centene canceled the massive development project 2 years ago, citing the pandemic and a permanent shift to remote work. The Business Journal reports potential buyers have to sign a confidentiality agreement just to look at details of the listing. Coming up on Total Information AM, how much impact could young male voters have on future elections? We'll talk about that with James Newman, associate professor in the Department of Political Science, Philosophy, and Religion at Southeast Missouri State University. Plus, a check of traffic and weather in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Window specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-293-8030. That's 800-293-8030. 800-293-8030.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10. Let's check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've cleared a few crashes, Megan, but we still have some trouble out there. They cleared the crash northbound 67 at Buck Creek. Now traffic's backed up Buck Creek up to Double C. The jam is shifting north. They cleared the crash north 55 at Loughborough. It's still backed up from Revis up to about Weber. They cleared the crash eastbound 44 at Elm, but it's still jammed Big Bend through at least Barry before it opens up. They still have the crash out here. This one has yet to be cleared. Left lane still shut down. Westbound 70 just immediately west of Bermuda. Traffic's jammed between Kings Highway and Union. Out past that one. Eastbound 70 is also slow. Bryan Road in 79. Eastbound 64 from 70 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard's busy, and then a couple of slowdowns east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton, Hanley heavy. North 270 a little slow right around 44 up to Manchester, but jammed. Manchester most of the way up to 64. There's a crash just south of 64. Downtown westbound 64, 3rd Street to the Poplars busy. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We'll start the day off with patchy fog and spotty drizzle. It'll be a mainly cloudy, mild day with a high of 62. Tonight becoming increasingly windy and turning much colder with some clearing overnight, low 36. Tomorrow more sun and clouds, but windy and quite chilly, high only 45. Thanksgiving Day will be mostly sunny, breezy, and cold, high only 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently cloudy skies, 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis. You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. President Trump got a boost from young male voters in the last election. Observers say they've seen a growing number of this bloc move to the right. Democrats, though, are working to lure them away. Just how important is this bloc of voters? Joining me now, James Newman, Associate Professor in the Department of Political Science, Philosophy, and Religion at Southeast Missouri State University. Thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Let's start out with, in that last presidential election, just how much impact did younger male voters have?
That's a great question. Basically, across all races and ethnicities, younger voters trended a little more toward Trump in this election than in 2020. It was certainly more pronounced with the white males. This is kind of in a lot of ways, it's a reflection of just kind of things like education in general, because one of the things that's been happening over the last, say, 20 to 30 years is that the percent of females has been increasing in colleges and universities, and the percent of males compared to females has been dropping. And what is consistent in presidential elections is that Trump tends to do better with people who do not have college degrees. So some of this is to be kind of expected just because it's a simple reflection upon the educational gap that exists between Trump supporters and the people who didn't support Trump. And that's been true with each of the three elections that he has been the Republican nominee. As far as the actual impact, it's very hard to say because you'd have to do kind of a deep dive as to each state. But overall, it is something that's helping him. And of course, the last three presidential elections have been very close. So you could say it is something that can tip the balance in favor of him because it has just been a very close set of elections since 2016.
If someone buys into a political philosophy early on in their voting years, does that necessarily dictate how they're going to vote the rest of their lives?
I'm not going to say it will dictate how they vote the rest of their lives, but it is a strong influence. You know, one of the things we talk about in politics is primacy, and the first thing in your head's toughest to remove. And it's a principle that you can apply even to marketing or sales or whatever. And it's what explains brand loyalty and soap just as much as it does partisanship. If you look at, say, for example, the generations, you know, we love in this country, we love talking about all the different generations, and, you know, the Instagram's filled with jokes about pitting one against each other. But you definitely see differences with, say, Generation X that kind of came of age when Carter or Reagan was in office. And Reagan was quite popular during his time, and Carter, not so much, especially in that 1980 election. But that's age-wise, that's the group that's most loyal to the Republican Party. But people who kind of came of age during Bill Clinton or Barack Obama tend to be more supportive of the Democratic Party. So I don't know if it's how strong this is, but it is something that is definitely, if you want to change somebody's mind, it's going to be harder, depending upon what they received as a socialization into politics. And just as a quick example, which I just kind of love since we're on radio, the generation that came of age when FM radio got popular and people started to listen to music with a high quality of FM compared to AM, that to this day is the generation that still has some of the highest radio listening numbers compared to all other generations. So a lot of those habits that get formed early in life, they are hard to change.
A lot of people are saying that with the results of a couple of the big elections we saw this month, for example, New York, they're reading into that's a shift in younger voters. What do you think about that?
I'm very hesitant to say any one election is a shift in younger voters just because there's so many things that can impact it. I mean, the cost of living in New York City has just gone crazy over the last, it's gone up throughout the country, but it's gone up a lot in our bigger cities. I mean, New York City, San Francisco, a lot of California, Florida, especially in the Miami, West Palm Beach area. So it's hard for me to read into any one election. But I do think younger people are seeing a situation in which, okay, I'm not so sure life's going to be as good for me as it was for my parents or my grandparents. It's harder for me to buy my first home. I'm graduating college with more debt. And depending on your ideology, people respond to that differently. Say, for example, some of the young males may respond to, well, I'm going to go into the trades and I'm not going to support candidates who like free trade. Others, they may go in the direction of, how they went in New York City, and that they may be for a little more, I hate to use the word just total socialist, but a little more government expansion and government involvement in things like rent and food cost. So I do think it's a response that impacts young people. Whether or not that's going to change the political dynamics, I'm not sure, because again, we're talking about like New York City versus say, rural Indiana. The younger people in rural Indiana would probably respond a little differently than younger people in New York City. But I do think it's fair to say that younger people feel disconnected from the economy and kind of traditional, here's how you build wealth. Here are things that you should expect in life. If you work hard, get a certain job, you can stay with a company. And then at these time frames, you get married, get a home, start having children. They feel like that just doesn't apply to them anymore because of the changing dynamics in which there is a growing income inequality gap. And that's why you're starting to see what I would consider to be less mainstream candidates doing well, especially with young people, because the mainstream candidates are perceived as kind of, maybe they created this system of inequality, or they're not willing to do what it takes to change it. Whereas young people, they're looking to support someone who is going to go out there and make the change and be a little more extreme, if you will, of getting it done and getting it done quickly.
So does this come down to the personality, for example, of a single candidate, or is it party philosophy?
A lot of it's party philosophy, but personality in politics always plays a big role. I mean, I have to look back at Bill Clinton, who I think is one of the greatest retail campaigners ever. And, he could just go up to people and talk to them and say, here's what I think. And even if that wasn't your favorite approach at solving an economic problem at the time, then what he was doing is quite appealing. And certainly the candidates up in New York City and some of the other locations, they have a way of reaching young people, and even on the communication modes such as Instagram and other social media, that older candidates are just kind of struggling with. They're just not as good at it, and they just feel a stronger connection to someone closer to their age. So as far as ideology, I do think it's fair to say that yes, ideology plays a role in it, but again, you have to have somebody who's good at selling the ideology.
That is James Newman, Associate Professor in the Department of Political Science, Philosophy, and Religion at Southeast Missouri State University. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, there's no human at the wheel. Driverless taxi service expands in the U.S. We'll have more on that next. Let's check the roads right now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got left lane issues, Megan. In fact, there's two different crashes now. Left lane's blocked both directions, 70 before Riverview. The crash is actually westbound. Westbound 70's jammed back to Shreve to that point, and you get a little bit of a breather where it's just slow, and then it jams again at Jennings Station. After the crash, it stalls the left lane shutdown at Bermuda, and, of course, there's an eastbound jam east of Lucas Hunt in through the Berkshire area toward Riverview because the left lane's blocked on the eastbound side there as well. Northbound 270 north of 44 up to Ladue, that's still busy. Eastbound 64, 70 to the Boulevard, slow. Eastbound 70, a little busy approaching TR Hughes. If you're on northbound 170, it's busy from 64 up to Delmar. Southbound, just a little slow through Delmar. Westbound 64, Hampton out to Hanley, a lot of volume there. Northbound 55, it's just a slowdown now. But Rivas all the way up through Loughborough from that earlier crash. It's also a little slow north of A, midway up to McNutt. And downtown westbound 64 west to 3rd Street to the Poplar is still heavy. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Still some patchy fog, spotty drizzle this morning as well. Otherwise, mainly cloudy today with a high of 62. Right now, cloudy skies, 54 downtown at the Arch.
Sponsored by the Moolah Shrine Center Festival of Trees.
Hello, everyone. I want to invite you to the Moolah Festival of Trees. Come see over 40 of the best decorated trees you'll ever see. Adult tickets are only $2 and kids under 12 are free. November 22nd through the 29th at the Moolah Shrine Center.
i3 Broadband, where in the spirit of the season, you can feast on 100% fiber internet. Whether you're shopping, streaming, gaming, or gathering, you need reliable and fast internet, and that's the good stuff you can stuff yourself on when you have i3. They always mirror upload and download speeds. They have a price lock guarantee, and you get unbeatable value, support, and service. Call today, 877-976-0711. They have plans for any budget, and you're likely to pay less money for better service compared with whoever currently provides your internet. That's i3 Broadband, i3broadband.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for joining me this morning for Total Information AM. Driverless taxis on the highways in a growing number of major U.S. cities. Waymo now offering driverless taxi rides on the West Coast, including in L.A. and the San Francisco Bay Area. And that's where Odyssey's Emily Valdez took a ride with Waymo rep Sandy Karp to check it out.
And here we go. Okay, and we are off. We are on the freeway now, and of course there's traffic. I'll roll the window down. Yeah, it's not doing anything weird. It just feels like a normal ride.
Exactly. It's supposed to be the same seamless experience, whether you're on surface streets or on freeways.
Will Waymo go over 65? Say the flow of traffic is, 80.
So the Waymo driver is designed to follow the rules of the road, including the speed limit, but it might accelerate to make a merge or make a lane change like you or I would. So it might go a little bit over the speed limit to get into the lane.
Okay, I noticed right there when it did merge, it did speed up a little bit. Okay, so now we are at the full 65 miles an hour. We're really letting her rip out here on the 10 freeway, which is about as fast as you could go.
Freeway experience, we've baked in different features into the rider experience to keep riders informed about their journey. So for example, we're exiting the freeway within a mile right now.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, it tells you.
So you're like, why am I going this way? Well, you're getting off the freeway. We also zoomed out the center screen, which shows you where you're going, just because you're going a little bit faster on freeways to give you more of a heads up of what's coming and what's around you.
What does Waymo say to people who are just afraid of these autonomous vehicles? They fear they're not safe. They're afraid of them.
Try it. Learn about the technology and then make your decision. You'll actually find that the Waymo driver has 90% fewer injury-causing collisions than human drivers over the same time frame. Once you understand how the technology works, try the Waymo. Download the app and hail a ride for yourself and see what the experience actually is like. Maybe it's a short ride. Maybe you take it across a longer distance when you don't have another option. and just give it a go.
I must say, Sandy, that was kind of a boring ride, and that's how it should be, right?
Oh, you want it to be boring.
It's reminding us not to forget our items. Okay, see, I'm going to add the window down. I'm going to roll it up. All right, well, thank you, Sandy, for a very boring freeway Waymo ride. It was awesomely boring.
Thank you for joining us for a boring ride.
That is Odyssey's Emily Valdez. And Waymo says the next expansion of its driverless taxi operations will be to Miami, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Orlando. And then a little further down the road, that company, which is owned by Google parent Alphabet, expected to drive into Detroit, Minneapolis, Nashville, and Denver. Coming up next, the Pentagon says it's investigating Senator Mark Kelly over video urging troops to defy illegal orders. CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland will join me. It's now 8:27. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
There, when St. Louis mourned.
My father, Jack Buck, passed away tonight.
We didn't just lose a great broadcaster, we lost a great person and a friend to the entire sports world.
Busch Stadium was the same sea of red the Hall of Fame broadcaster witnessed season after season as family, friends, and longtime listeners gathered to celebrate a great life.
We cannot begin to tell you all how much your thoughts, your prayers, your cards, your comments on KMOX, what you've done out by his statue here at Busch Stadium, we cannot begin to tell you how much that means.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by St. Louis Public Library, St. Louis's original search engine.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's 8:30. Let's see if things are getting any easier out there on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, not yet on Highway 70, unfortunately, Megan. This traffic reports the service of U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America Holiday Concert. So we have those crashes on 70. Eastbound 70, the left lane's closed at Bircher because of a crash westbound there. Westbound is jammed at almost West Florissant coming through the area, but it remains jammed westbound all the way out to Bermuda, where the left lane's still blocked from that earlier crash. And by the way, the eastbound jam coming into the city is backed up bumper to bumper at Lucas Hunt, so almost equal jam both directions there on 70, a real mess. Northbound 270 still slow, Big Bend all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55, there's a crash at the Highway Z exit, so there's a backup from the Joachim Creek up to that point. Then it's still heavy from Bayless up to River to Pear. Northbound 170, north of 64 up through Delmar, still kind of slow. Eastbound 64, east of Prospect's busy. 70 eastbound around TR Hughes, a little heavy downtown. There's still some slow traffic at the Poplar westbound. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Get into the spirit of the season with free holiday concerts by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America, December 6th through 12th. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
From the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, patchy fog, spotty drizzle hanging around this morning. And then the rest of the day, mainly cloudy with a high of 62. Right now, we have cloudy skies, 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The Pentagon announced Monday it's investigating Democratic Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona over possible breaches of military law after the former Navy pilot joined a handful of other lawmakers in a video that called for troops to defy illegal orders. CBS News military analyst, retired Army Colonel Jeff McCausland joins us now. Jeff, thanks for your time this morning.
Megan, good to be with you.
Does the Pentagon have the authority to investigate the center?
Well, they certainly do, because he is a retired military officer, as am I, over 30 years service. And as a consequence, you are subject to UCMJ for violations of that particular protocol. Now, I have to add that only happens in the very rarest of cases. The only one I can recall in my entire career was a senior officer who actually had been convicted of sexual assault, but that sexual assault occurred while he was still on active duty. Then he retired, and then the case was raised, and he was called back for a court-martial. So this is kind of unusual and unprecedented, but certainly within the frame of UCMJ.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that federal law that the Pentagon is alleging that Kelly may have violated?
Well, they're calling it sedition, which is undermining the security of the United States. And the basic accusation is the senator and these other senators and congressmen who are involved in the video were calling on soldiers to be insubordinate, to call on soldiers to not follow legal orders provided them by senior officers. And frankly, my watching the video doesn't reveal that. It certainly suggests that they are reminding soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines that they have a responsibility not to follow legal orders. We don't shoot civilians. We don't commit those kind of crimes. You know, it's odd in the social media of today. We have a film, Nuremberg, which is in theaters right now. And really, in that particular instance, we had German officers at the end of World War II saying, hey, we were just following orders. We did not accept that as a defense in the court cases. And ever since I was commissioned many years ago, we were taught that you cannot follow illegal orders, and if you do, you're accountable for that.
What could a court-martial mean for Senator Kelly?
Again, really unclear, Megan, because it happens so infrequently. He first had to be called back on active duty, and the question then, of course, could he continue to perform his function as a United States senator? But at the moment, at least, he has not been formally indicted. There's just an ongoing investigation. So candidly, the question it raises to me so much is whether they really want to go through with all that, or is this really an effort to undermine the senator? Oh, by the way, coincidentally, he could be a very likely candidate for president in 2028. He was considered for vice president back in 2024. And at the same time, perhaps intimidate other retired military officers, people like me, from being more than candid when I'm talking to you. And if you will get in line with what the administration is trying to do.
CBS News military analyst, retired Army Colonel Jeff McCausland, thank you for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got your money report next.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
8:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's John Tucker.
Shares of Kohl's soaring at the pre-market. They've raised their full-year outlook for the second straight quarter. It's a sign that CEO Michael Bender is helping to stabilize performance at the struggling retailer. They now see net sales declining in a range of 3.5% to 4% for the full year. That's actually a smaller drop than a projection offered in late August. NVIDIA is feeling the heat. Their shares dropped in a report that Meta is in talks to spend billions of dollars on Google's AI chips. This potentially erodes NVIDIA's position as the gold standard for big tech firms. Alphabet shares rose. The company's on track for a $4 trillion valuation. And Apple's eliminated dozens of sales roles. Management notified the affected workers over the past couple of weeks. The move is especially notable because revenue at Apple has been growing at the fastest clip in years, and stocks coming off a strong two-day rally in the S&P 500. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This is Amy Markscore's chair of this year's Red Kettle campaign. Christmas reminds us of the challenges faced by our neighbors in need, basic needs we sometimes take for granted. When you give with joy to the Salvation Army, you transform lives. You put food on the table and provide warm beds. You give veterans and seniors purpose. You help a child experience the joy of Christmas. And 90 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to critical social services. Bring joy to the world today. Visit salarmy.us/Amy Markscores.
The holidays are here, filled with laughter, family, and memories. But if you're missing the punchline, the conversation, or even the music, it might be time to check your hearing. Hi, I'm Charlie Brennan.
I'm Dr. Bosler with the Audiology Center.
And I'm Dr. Voss. This season, we want you to hear every moment.
Hearing aids today can process sound faster than before. They're smarter at separating the speech from the background noise, meaning that when you're at the holiday parties this season, you'll hear the voices that you want to hear, clearer than before.
So don't wait until the new year. Give yourself the gift of better hearing today and reconnect with the people and the moments that matter most.
Call the Audiology Center, 636-441-7470, or online, theaudiologycenterstl.com. 3 convenient locations.
Call us today and make this holiday season better than last year's. Here for the holidays, here for life.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told him your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. New rules governing data centers and power companies in Missouri go into effect next week amid concerns about the impact on electric customers. The White House circulating a proposal that would extend subsidies to help consumers pay for coverage under the Affordable Care Act for 2 more years. And a new study shows that 96% of car buyers want their next vehicle to have a radio. Coming up on Total Information AM, we're going to give you a buying guide for kid-friendly books and videos for this holiday season. First, let's get you to work so you can pay for all those. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still got crashes out there, unfortunately, Megan. This traffic reports service of Ambassadors of Harmony. We have crashes both directions on 70 right around Riverview. Westbound 70 is jammed at West Florissant out to that point, and then it jams again approaching Lucas Hunt out to Bermuda. Where there's a crash they were clearing from the left lane, and the eastbound 70 jam because the left lane's closed at Riverview is Lucas Hunt as well, so really tough. And there's a crash block in the right lane, eastbound 70 at TR Hughes. Traffic's bogged down at Bryan Road. North 270, Doherty Ferry up to Ladou's busy. Westbound 64 slow, approaching North 270 from almost Lindbergh. Northbound 55, we have a crash just before the Highway Z exit. It's jammed at McNutt, and we're clearing a crash just north of River to Pear. It's backed up at Bayless up to that incident. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
See the 5-time International Chorus Champions, Ambassadors of Harmony with the St. Louis Children's Choir and Vocal Spectrum. 4 performances only December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Book at aoh.org or call 314-516-4949.
Cloudy skies today, a high of 62. Right now, cloudy, 54 in downtown St. Louis. You're listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Movies and books may be on your child's wish list for holiday gifts, so let's try to help you figure out what's worth it and what's not. I'm joined this morning by Betsy Bosdek. She is Common Sense Media's editorial director and head of ratings and reviews. Betsy, thanks for your time this morning.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
How do you rate movies and books?
Common Sense Media reviews all the different media we cover, books, movies, TV shows, from a perspective grounded in child development and research. We have worked with experts internally and externally to really look at what kids are ready for at different ages in general across the board. There's a lot of studies on that. Like most kids can start telling the difference between fantasy and reality at a certain age and such. And we use that to determine our ratings age by age from 2 to 18, knowing that every kid and every family is different and every parent and caregiver can use the information that we provide to make the choice that's right for their family.
When folks go on to Common Sense Media's website, what are some of the things that they are going to see in the summaries of some of these materials? Let's take movies, for example.
Sure. What our reviewers do, who are all trained in our expert-driven rubric, is they evaluate all of the different content in a movie, from the, perhaps the iffier stuff like violence or scariness or strong language, to the real positive aspects like messages and role models and educational value and diverse representations. And so we rate all of those on this 0 to 5 dot scale, and then kind of wrap it all up into our age and star rating to give you a sense of what age this is appropriate for and just how good it is, because something can be appropriate for a 4-year-old and not worth their time.
What should parents watch out for that is likely to be popular over the holidays when it comes to movies?
Well, in terms of new stuff in theaters, I think we're going to see some stuff that kids are really excited about. Wicked for Good is coming out. Utopia 2 is right after that. Those are probably going to be appropriate for tweens and up. I think younger kids are likely to want to see them as well. So that's a real know your kid situation. Similarly for Avatar 3, which is coming out around Christmas. And at the beginning of December, there's going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which is a horror movie based on a video game, all of which are very scary. And we have rated the first movie of that and the games for teens. So that's going to be one where I think parents are going to want to know. It has like puppets in it, but they're kind of scary. So don't make the mistake of thinking, oh, this is for kids because it has puppets in it.
I'm kind of amazed that Five Nights at Freddy's is still around.
I know it. This is a franchise with legs.
Yeah, it never goes away. Is there anything that you highly recommend as far as movies, even those that people might be buying to put under the tree this year?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, we're in a world now where I guess, some Gen Alpha and Gen Z kids are really into having physical media again, but I don't know that the littles are. They kind of watch it on the streaming services. But, some of our favorite movies from earlier this year included Pixar's Elio. We really enjoyed Superman. So those will probably be available on different platforms. Bad Guys 2, How to Train Your Dragon. For slightly older kids, there's Downton Abbey, the grand finale, Freakier Friday. All of those are going to be great and probably available on Blu-ray or DVD for kids if they like to have that physical media experience. Of course, most kids still can't get enough of K-pop Demon Hunters either, but that's not on DVD.
So talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, because I'm sure that a lot of people have that on their kids' list. What do we need to know about that?
It is a super fun movie. It is, I've heard a lot of people calling it Netflix's Frozen, and it really does seem to be sort of having a similar impact on the pop culture at the moment. Like, I don't know if you were out trick-or-treating, but where I was this year, it was just all K-pop all the time. And I think it's because it really mixes some, thoughtful messages about friends supporting each other and learning to accept each other for who they are, with obviously really catchy songs and fun animation and just, a lot of characters that kids are really enjoying.
Let's talk about books for kids that either, on their readers or if they want that physical copy. What are going to be some of the big hits for kids this Christmas?
Big hits. Well, everyone will be perhaps excited to know that there's a brand new Diary of a Wimpy Kid book out just now called Party Pooper. People love her. Parents tend to love or hate those books. My son, who's 12, is a big fan, and we'll keep reading them forever. So I think a lot of kids would be excited to get that if they love the others in the series. There's also another book in the world of Percy Jackson out right now. It's the second Nico D'Angelo spin-off adventure. It's called The Court of the Dead. And I think I just saw that the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Games prequel that was big earlier this year. I can't remember the exact release date, but they're putting out a gorgeous special edition for the holidays that has a really pretty cover and edging of pages. So that's a nice physical option if you have a kid who's interested in that series. We also have a bunch of picture books we like around this time of year. Some new ones out. There's a Night Owl's Little Christmas is a picture book for younger kids, and The 13th Day of Christmas are two newer titles. There's a bestseller that we love perennially called Goodbye Autumn, Hello Winter. That's a nice transition from the seasons. And let's see what else. Oh, another good sequel that's out is one called The Poisoned King, which is the sequel to Impossible Creatures, which was a huge hit and really good. And let's see, on the teen side, there's some romance ones out, one called Fake Skating. Everyone loves these like winter-themed romances for teens. And a novella in the popular Belladonna series called Holly, a Belladonna novella that's all about Christmas.
When a parent does go on your site to look at the book reviews, maybe compared to the movie reviews, what are some of the things that they're going to be able to find out about that book?
Sure. We use the same rubric for all of the media we review. And so they're kind of looking at the same stuff. We're looking at, violence and scariness, strong language, spicy content, sex, romance, and nudity, whether there's product placement, substance use, as well as the positive side with messages, diverse representations, role models, and educational value. In books, you can have the reading something is different than seeing it. So sometimes things that if you read them, Hunger Games is a good example because some of that stuff is obviously extremely graphic, but the books probably get a slightly younger rating than the movies because of the experience as consuming the media is different.
Well, Betsy, thank you so much to you and your staff for reading and viewing all of this to help parents out every year.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We love it.
That is Betsy Bosdek, editorial director for Common Sense Media. Coming up, we'll help you avoid a plumbing disaster after your big Thanksgiving meal. It's now 8:48.
I'm Dave Glover. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Tom Ackerman. Celebrates St. Louis tradition at its finest. Ted Drew's Frozen Custard, serving the community with unmatched quality, service, and hometown pride for generations. Concretes, malts, shakes, sundaes, floats, ice cream sodas, also sold by the quart. Ted Drew's delicious custard pairs perfectly with your favorite holiday treats. And this Friday, Ted Drew's becomes your one-stop holiday destination. A beautiful selection of premium Christmas trees at Ted Drew's 6726 Chippewa. 6726 Chippewa on historic Route 66. Christmas trees and greenery are available while supplies last. So don't wait. Stop by early for the best selection. I can tell you the Ackerman family will be there on Friday picking out our Christmas tree and hope to see you there. Ted Drew's, where tradition tastes great and the holidays feel right at home.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119. Take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Well, the day after Thanksgiving is often one of the busiest days of the year for plumbers. That's because people put things down the sink and garbage disposal that they probably should not. Joining me now to give us some help on this is John Shupp. He's a plumbing field manager for Hoffman Brothers Plumbing. John, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. What are the worst things that people seem to put down their drains at Thanksgiving?
Some of the worst things around Thanksgiving time is, it's going to be heavy volumes of food, and then just the volume in general, along with the grease and wet wipes and things like that.
Do you find that sometimes there's already probably a problem brewing in people's pipes, and then at these big holiday meals, they're just putting more down there, and that's what creates the problem?
Great question, and yes, that is definitely an issue with a lot of older plumbing and some newer plumbing. Sometimes you have these underlying issues and these partial blockages in the lines, and then all of a sudden you have these parties and you have a lot of people come over, and it's just enough to clog it up all the way.
I think sometimes people think, John, that they can put grease down the drain as long as they just pour enough hot water after it. What really happens?
So hot water could actually have a reverse effect because it'll allow it to liquefy until it gets down the drain line, and then it'll cool, and then that's what it will adhere to the sides of the pipes. So I actually would recommend, if grease has to go down there for whatever reason, it actually stays at a cooler temperature so it can solidify and be allowed to flow all the way through the line.
I didn't realize that potatoes and potato peels can cause such a big problem, both for your garbage disposal and for your drain.
Yes, they can, and that will go along with what kind of garbage disposal do you have. So there's lower grade disposals, and then there's the Pro Series disposals. When you upgrade to a Pro Series disposal, you're allowed to get a lot more depth through those disposals because they take more time and they will grind the food up finer and create less resistance.
So what do people do sometimes to try to clear slow drains on their own that could actually make it worse?
Well, the big one is they try all the chemical drain openers that are actually pretty caustic to yourself and the plumbing. And a lot of times those can actually make that blockage that much harder to clear once you get a plumber out there. And then the second is they try to take the plumbing apart themselves, and then they find themselves in a spot where they can't get it all back together.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen after a Thanksgiving meal that you've had to go in and clear?
As far as like a kitchen sink, it would be like potato peelings, any kind of greenery, celery stems and broccoli, things like that. And then other than that, there's a term of Brown Friday after Thanksgiving, and it's where you experience a lot of sewer backups from all of the company coming over. So you see a lot of sewage backups in basements.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's got to be awful on Black Friday for you. For people listening, is there preventive maintenance that you can do to your home to try to keep this from happening at the holidays?
Yes. So upgrading the disposal is going to be number one, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas when there's a lot of cooking going on and you're using a lot down the kitchen sink. So having that Pro Series disposal is going to be very helpful. And then my other recommendation is to get a camera in your sewer line at least once a year, or at least to the point where you know what kind of condition your sewer is in. So if you can expect to have issues, or if you need to get it cleaned out prior to the holidays.
Yeah, so we don't have Brown Friday. Thanks for sharing that, John. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope this, I know like you need to make the money, but I hope this avoids some of those emergency calls over the holidays for people.
Hey, we're always here to help. So however we can do that, it's much appreciated.
All right. John, that is John Shep. He is a plumbing field manager for Hoffman Brothers Plumbing, joining us this morning here on Total Information AM. Well, make sure you join us tomorrow. KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz is going to look at the holiday sales forecast with us. We're also going to look at where we are gaining and losing population in the region. St. Louis University demographer Ness Sandoval keeps a close eye when they send updates on the census figures, and he is going to join me in studio in the morning to look at where things stand at this point. Also, if you are going to holiday parties, we're going to talk about what booze does to your body. So I hope you join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock here on KMOX.
St. Louis still has ARPA money to spend, and we're going to talk to Mayor Kara Spencer about that and other city-specific business. Also, Mark Hertling, retired Army general, on what it means to disobey illegal orders. And we have the acting special agent in charge of the FBI here in St. Louis, Chris Crocker. All of that and more coming up on the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chronic anxiety may boost dementia. Prolonged anxiety can lead to elevated levels of stress hormones, which can impact the brain. Studies show older adults with chronic anxiety had about 3